Hey everyone, it's your boy Schweezy here. No easy way for me to really say this, but recently my father, who most of you know if you've heard stories on the podcast before, know him as Papa Schweg. Some people know him as Tim Schwegler. Some people know him as Coach. He just recently passed away. I do want to continue to talk about him. I will be talking about him a lot more on the main show. But as for right now, what I wanted to make this specific podcast slash video for is because one of the great things about podcasting, and I'm very happy I did this at this point, was I got to have my dad on the show on my old podcast and a couple times on the new one. Couple times now. I think we have about 3 hours of audio of him talking. Those of you who know him know he loved public speaking. He loved talking, and I think that's probably where I get that from. But I'm going to miss him dearly. But so what I did here today, I'll be done talking soon, but what I did today was combine all of his appearances on any podcast I've ever recorded. Because I know at least since he's no longer here with us, I at least know that he everything he said on these, he was happy with saying, and I want to miss him forever. And so I just, this is for me, and this is for anyone else who misses him. I know he's going to have a lot of friends who don't usually listen to this, to my podcast, which is probably good. I don't think they'd be too interested in some of the dumb and goofy things I have to say. But I know a lot of people miss him too. And so I'm glad I got record of this, and I'm glad we have some sort of historical type of thing that we can always remember him by from now and for the future to come. So I'll stop talking now because you will hear me talk a lot more on all these, but you'll hear him talk much too. He talks about family, growing up, his family, mom's family, and a bunch of other things too, and other silly arguments as well. I'm just very happy I got to record all these with him while he was with us. I'm going to miss him forever. But I'm going to be talking about him a lot more on the main show. So I hope you enjoy this. This is the best of Papa Schweg, and enjoy. All right, awesome. So that's great sponsors for today. And so typically right after this, we usually do some music, and then I go with my interview, but you guys are my interview for today. So this is a little bit weird, so we're not even going to have to press stop on the recording. So that's going to be really cool. So we're having a lot of fun this Christmas. I came up here on Thursday. It's Saturday, the 23rd, as we're recording this episode. And so I drove 8 hours from Nashville up to Kirksville, Missouri. A lot of people ask where you guys live on the show. What's the best way to describe where Kirksville geographically is?
Well, it's 3 hours. We're in the north part of Missouri. It's 3 hours from St. Louis, and it's 3 hours from Kansas City. Mm-hmm. If you're from the state of Missouri, some people may not know where Kirksville's at. You just go to Columbia, Missouri, which is the University of Missouri's there. Go north. 80 miles and you run into Kirksville. So that's kind of like the native description of how to get here. Mm-hmm.
And then we also want to try, so Mom is from here. She's not from Kirksville, but she's from outside of Kirksville. So they made it to Kirksville. How do you get to where you're from, Edina, Missouri?
Go east.
It's just 25 miles east.
So it's like you go to the middle of nowhere, then go 25 miles east of the middle of nowhere. The best way to describe it.
Okay.
Well, if you get that urban mentality of nowhere, how do you define nowhere? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. So
yeah.
The urban.
It's the mentality you take. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so if I can get lost you can get lost in the middle of nowhere. You can get lost in the middle of a city.
We just got to learn the moss grows on the north side of the tree. That's the main trick.
Not really. It does. It actually grows. That's an urban myth.
Okay.
Because actually moss can grow all the way around a tree.
Okay. That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
So,
and your listeners can check that out.
Take it from the natives. So.
But if you don't believe me, there are episodes of Survivor Man, and Les Stroud actually says that in the show itself. So. Yeah, it does. That's not always the way it works.
That's the one with Bear Grylls, right?
No, Les Stroud.
Okay.
Survivor Man, yeah.
Okay.
And so he had a pretty regular series for a while. He's getting older. I don't think he can do it like he used to. So he just pops a show every once in a while. He has a website too. I'm not going to push his website. But, yeah. But he's got a website too and everything. But yeah, it doesn't always grow. All
Does he?
around
Does he
tree.
always? He's not the one who drinks. So Bear Grylls drinks his pee. This
No,
Spider-Man?
I've never seen Les Stroud recommend that or do that on a show.
it's like, well, we just fouled the airplane.
Yeah.
We got to drink our pee. That's
But
the,
yeah, he's Canadian. Maybe only British people do it. Canadians don't. I don't know.
Because we're going to see for Christmas, our Christmas Day, we're going to see my cousin Jody. Correct? Is that still the plan? Unless they kick us out. So that's my mom's niece, my dad's niece-in-law.
Yeah. We can say it that way.
I think you can just still say
not
niece.
not a blood niece.
So
but
my
she's-
cousin, and she just had a kid named Porter, and so we were having a discussion about Porter the other day. Jody's not going to be too excited. She might not listen. I don't know. So, but yeah, I think Porter's kind of a chubby baby, which there's nothing wrong with a chubby baby, but Mom was kind of upset that I was calling him chubby.
Well, he's a lot like you when you were a baby, so
Well,
I guess
it's-
whatever you think about that.
It's all on it's your side genetics, I think. And you just but he was only like 7 pounds when he was born. Where like the Whitty children, that's my mom's maiden name. We'll get more into that later. But the kids are like 8-9 pound like hams, right?
Well, yeah, I won't get into that. I use that in class, but the average baby's about 7.5 pounds, roughly.
So he was pretty small for a Whitty
Well,
child.
was he 7? Was he 7?
For our
Was he
genetics, he was pretty
yeah,
small.
but yeah, and that typically most babies now are a little bit like 8 or 9 pounders. But because of preemies and stuff, it brings down the
Yeah.
if you, the
That- if you do
statistics,
the
it brings
averages.
it down. So if you look like even 20, 30 years ago, the average size of a baby is the same from because of the wide range now.
Okay. I mean, he's healthy. That's all. I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure your readers are.
they're probably really excited to hear about
really
Porter.
excited about this.
This probably just
I
like
teach that in
he's like, we
class,
need more Porter on the show.
Yeah, or
Can't even talk yet,
you
but
need to know about baby weight.
But yeah, so I learned how to make a southern dish, and so that's what I'm bringing. Mom makes these incredible meatballs. Are you going to give out the secrets on the show, or are you just going to keep that a family secret?
Oh, no, it's a family secret.
Okay, so we're keeping our
No
meat.
way, yeah.
And I got to say, these meatballs are good. So what do you think of like when meatballs, it's just like more like spaghetti type meatballs. These are not that. They're at least there's like mushroom soup with it. These are really phenomenal. I cannot express how phenomenal these meatballs are. So that's our family secret.
You could probably do it. You could do a tomato sauce or something with it.
Yeah, I
mean,
I think it's like the same
good.
concept, probably.
probably the same concept.
But
I just listen to her orders. And sometimes I mix it up and stuff. But
I just assume that's marriage.
They could be in spaghetti meatballs. I'd eat those.
Yeah, they'd probably work. But she makes the best cookies of anyone on earth. So they're just like, my mom, I have arguments with my friends, like, my mom makes the best cookies ever. My mom makes, I'm like, no, my mom makes, like, because she actually, most people just like crispy cookies, and that is not what cookies are supposed to be. Like, if you, like, slightly bend them, they're supposed to fall apart immediately. That's how cookies are supposed to be. Ooh, just
Well, yeah, Kirksville is only a town of 17,000.
no. We're talking about the entire world.
Oh, world. Well, I know, but if you came to Kirksville, you could run into somebody that's eating her cookies.
Yeah, you could.
Because of high school and stuff.
Yeah.
She made enough of them for all your groups.
Because we talked about
all the
like,
groups you were in. Yeah.
Because when we were in like band or like in jazz band in high school and stuff like that, we would have like each grade would just bring their own like food or whatever, like a certain dish, and then just like always somehow my class ended up with cookies and desserts. I don't know how that happened, but my class always ended up. So I had to go, hey mom, we need you to make cookies, and she's like, oh, all right. The typical suburban mom, go make cookies for your kids, whatever.
Out of the middle of nowhere, mom.
Out of the middle of nowhere, yeah.
Mom, since you keep bringing that up, yeah, go ahead.
Middle of nowhere. If there's any secret with Edina, it's probably there's some cookie recipe there locked away. The bottom of like Bering Lake, probably. You have to get like a submarine and you have to dig it out. Or get it out of my mom. I think that's probably the other secret.
That would be, she would probably under torture. I don't think you'd crack.
I don't think she would.
As far as your cookie recipe goes.
I'll say this. One time I tried to make the cookies and they turned out horrible. So there's like something in the way my mom actually like makes them. Like it's not, you just can't read the recipe.
What's the secret ingredients?
Love.
So, it's definitely, it's definitely not an easy task to make. So, because I'm assuming like if she would just make me have to make them and they're horrible. So, and these are chocolate chip cookies. Let's be real here. probably the hardest cookie to make.
Yeah, but you also do sugar cookies as well.
Her sugar cookies are good too.
You've got a couple other kind of cookies that you do that are pretty good.
Our family's very cookie aficionados, I would say.
Oh, yes.
We're just like we
Consume large quantities at times. I'm not a big sweets person, but her cookies are pretty good. Of course, here's the deal with cookies. She makes a batch of cookies, and they're always for somebody. Which I try to watch out how much sugar. I save my sugar for Dr. Pepper. We can get into that later if you want.
Yeah.
But I save that for Dr. Pepper. So I don't try to eat much, but she's always having me sampling to make sure they're okay. And so they're pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was just like when I was in college, like if my mom would bake me some cookies and I would like bring them back to Warrensburg with me. What we would do, and people would try them, like, "Oh my gosh, these are so good!" I'm like, "Yeah, now you can see why I'm a little overweight, huh?" So it was a good joke for college.
It worked for a while.
It worked for a while. Now that I live in the South, it's kind of like I'm from the Midwest, and like I'm about 15 pounds overweight, like exactly. It's typical of the Midwest. It's like 15 pounds overweight, almost exactly. So you find what body weight you're supposed to be for like your height, and then add 15 pounds, and you pretty much guess someone's weight.
Yeah, for a lot of people, that's true.
So I bet. So since you're talked about a lot on the show, a lot of people are wanting to know a little bit about your backstories and a little bit of other things with the show. So Dad, we're going to start off with you.
Okay.
So you're not from Kirksville.
No, I'm
or
not,
Kansas.
I'm not from Kirksville or Kansas. No. I grew up in North St. Louis County, but my dad is from the northern part of the Ozarks.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time there. So I have a lot of. My dad was basically a hillbilly. Your grandfather was basically a hillbilly, which is nothing bad about that. I mean, there's some unique things about that, that's for sure. But I spent a lot of time there, so had a little bit of an accent. Ozark accent, kind of, and when you go to first grade, when you go to kindergarten and stuff in there, and you start using an accent, that's not good because you get beat up. So I was a pretty quiet kid growing up. No. Plus, I had a couple of speech problems, which 2 years of therapy got me through later on in life. But so I've got a little mix about that, the Ozarks and St. Louis, North St. Louis County. I grew up pretty close within about 2 miles of where the Ferguson stuff happened.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me that.
And the Ferguson thing, when you saw it on it only happened within about a half mile of one road.
Yeah,
that was the main thing called West Florissant.
Yeah,
I grew and actually the person who got shot, if they went to elementary school, they would have went to the same elementary school I went to. So it was kind of like the whole area, like North County was like, under a siege or something. It was only like a half mile stretch where all the protests took place and the shooting took place and everything there. So it was where I grew up was a working class suburb, I could say, but mine was a little more spaced out. I mean, we didn't have houses on top of each other.
Yeah.
We had actually an acre of yard, which was nice growing up playing and stuff like that. There was a lot of woods you could go to, which the Ozark thing kind of, I'd head for the woods to play a lot when we were young. So it was a good thing. The nice thing about it, when you went to high school, everyone had about the same amount of money. So that I thought that was kind of cool because, if somebody had a car, when you got to high school, no one had a brand new car.
Yeah.
Everybody had a car. If they had a car, you probably had a used car for years, and they had a job to kind of fix it up and stuff.
Yeah.
And everything. So everybody was the same economic thing. Now, when I went to college, I realized, you think you know everything, but some people have a lot more money than other people. I realized that when I went to college. So it was a good environment to grow up in. My parents had a really rough life when they were growing up. So, a lot of people, always blame their parents for everything that in their life. But my parents did the best they could. I think all parents just do the best they can and just go from there. But, my dad was in the Ozarks. Depression hit. They moved to the city, which was the worst thing in the world to do because at least out there you could grow your own food.
Yeah.
A lot of your own food. You moved in there and didn't. So he's from a large family, a blended family. My dad's mom or my grandmother, which I never met, died when he was like 5 or 6.
Ooh, yeah.
So, he knew her but didn't know her very well, and stuff. So, and then my grandfather, who was not a nice person, I never got within 20 feet of my grandfather. My dad wouldn't let me come too close to him. And I'm not going to go into the details of that, why, but you can kind of figure it out.
Probably, yeah.
So actually, when he was 16, he quit school and rode a coaster bike about 120 miles back to an area and got a job. He got free room and board, and I think he got I can't remember, like 25 cents a month or something.
Okay.
Which he thought was great.
A lot more.
He got to eat everything he wanted and everything like that. And my mom, during the Depression, and this was not uncommon. There was 4 in the family, and they decided they couldn't afford 4 kids, so they had to pick one of the kids to go live in an orphanage. And my mom was picked, so she went to the orphanage and then was fostered. And that was about when she was about 13, 12 or 13, and then she lived in foster homes all the way to 18. And my mom and dad went out and eloped after that. My dad was 20, 19. She was 18, and they went out and eloped. So with that, and then life started for them. But that's kind of a little bit of background stuff. But
And Grandpa was in World War II.
he was War II. He spent I think like this time of year I always think about him because he was in Bastogne. Some people call it the Battle of the Bulge. He was in a foxhole on the south side of Bastogne. Stopped a few tanks from coming in. So and he's a Bronze Star winner.
Okay, yeah.
And stuff like that. So he good background, but he suffered from, even 40 years later, he had what do you call it? I just went blank.
PTSD.
Yeah, he suffered from that 40 years after the fact.
I mean, like that. I don't.
They didn't even have it. They didn't have that diagnosed back then. But he'd wake up in cold sweats.
Yeah, it would be like, I think they call it shell shock, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he lost a lot of buddies on that, in War II, and it still haunted him.
Yeah.
People don't. The effect. They didn't have a name for it back then, but those instances. So guys coming back from Vietnam. Guys coming back from the Middle East, I got a lot of sympathy for them. Not sympathy, but that's not the wrong word. But empathy, I guess, would be a better word for them. What they're going through.
Yeah.
Because it is tough. They got to battle them, and we, as a society, we've got to support them as much as we can.
See, I know my friend Curtis. He's in the Air Force. He went to Afghanistan for a couple months, and so now every 6 months they give him a call. Like, are you doing okay, and stuff like that. But yeah, Grandpa's in World War II, so he's cooler. Pretty cool in my book. Well,
yeah, he was the thing with him was, he called back and one time someone came to me, well, your dad was a hero, and he didn't want to hear that. He said the guys that were heroes were the guys that came back injured or something, or the guys that didn't come back.
Yeah.
He just considered War II as that you went, you did your job, it needed to be done, and you came back. He was always sympathetic for Vietnam because Vietnam, there wasn't really a purpose. It was kind of hanging on. We should have got out of there earlier. I think history's going to find out, it records that we should have got out of there a lot earlier than we did. We wouldn't have the problems we had. He's very sympathetic to them.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, and my dad was very democratic, very democratic. And when the Bush first Desert Storm, I guess, was coming there, he was all for that. They went in, kind of took over, and then they got out.
Yeah.
He was not into staying somewhere for a long time and stuff. So, a lot of people told me, well, he's a hero, and but he wouldn't have wanted you to say that about him. He just said, I did my job, and all I wanted to do is, he wanted to go home. As soon as he could go home, he had enough points. He got home. He was there, in 44, to end of 45. I guess he marched in the parade in 46 in New York City. Got some clippings downstairs in a scrapbook about that. So he did that. He got back as quick as he just wanted to get life. And a lot of those guys just want to get back to normal life. They just wanted to get back to normal life. And that's why the baby boomers started then, because everybody wanted to start families.
Just wanted to live
and
the normal thing.
He was one of the older guys too. Most of the guys were, when my dad got drafted, or your grandfather got drafted, he was 23, 24 when he got drafted. Most guys were 18 to 20 that got drafted, so he was a little older with that. And he didn't get drafted till 43.
Okay.
So something like that. I might be off a little bit, a few months, but he didn't get drafted till then. So that was a little different. He was one of the older guys, which kind of makes him a little unique in that, because most guys were 18 to 20, 21 at the most, so, yeah.
So it was cool. But I know I like to tell people because your sister and my Aunt Judy is kind of a grandparent figure to me.
Yes.
And so this is actually, because I always have to explain this anytime I tell anyone, I'm going to see my Aunt Judy, and it's like, well, she's kind of like my grandma to me. And so explain that explain like why, like especially like being a later baby.
Yeah, there's 16 and a half years gap between us, if I counted the numbers right. 16 and a half year gap with that, so that's a unique. She was born actually before World War II, and when my dad came back, you're like, I don't know who this person is, because she didn't, you know what I'm saying? Because he's gone for a good chunk of time. So that's a little different. So I've got a nephew that's 2.5 years younger than me. So it's her first, and she had him at 19. So it's kind of unique. So a lot of times people would think that I was her son, sometimes like that and everything. And so, but it was kind of funny on both your grandparents' deathbeds, where they said, take care of your sister, which I'm the youngest. It's like, oh, wait, it's supposed to be the other way around. And you know what I'm saying? So like, they go, no, take care of your sister. I took on that responsibility. And stuff like that, or to look out for her as much as I can. So that's kind of unique in that situation. And you had an uncle that's 10 years older than me, and stuff. He passed away late 90s with that. So there was a gap. So even between them, there were a gap, but they were pretty close. They were pretty close. I was to say we were really close at the time. Probably, there's a big gap. Age, it's hard to connect as much. But, I know your aunt and I came a lot closer after your grandparents passed away. And it's kind of due to your grandparents' wishes and stuff like that,
But so my aunt, so every time I have to explain to someone, it's just like, I'm going to go see my Aunt Judy. She's 6, so it's pretty much, she was 16 years older than my dad, and then when she was 19, she had her first kid. And so I have a cousin who's 2 years younger than my dad. And so he's kind of like an uncle, and then like my dad, because you were kind of was in a sense like you were kind of siblings in a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we got and he is, and he had my other nephews is 10 years younger than me. So there's a little bit of gap between them. Not much, but they grew up together, and then there's divorce, and they lived separate sometimes with that. So that's a little different. But Steve and I, we have history together. Yeah, let's just put it that way.
You could tell like when we go see each other.
And when you could tell, and we are alike in some ways. We're totally different in other ways.
And he has kids our age, so
and then that's a unique thing with that.
So and then I have cousins like, I guess they're second cousins, I think. They're technically my age, so they're like normal first cousins. Yeah, and so
it's unique. Yeah, it's unique. Well, what happens when I was an oops baby?
Timmy the tumor, right?
Timmy, you want me to tell that?
Yeah,
story?
Tell that. That's a good story.
Okay, so that's. Oh, thank you for letting me tell this story. What happened was, my mom wasn't supposed to have any more kids. They suggested not to. She had health problems all through her life. Part of that's because of her childhood. I won't go into that detail right now. So they had the first two, and then. Here I am 10 years later coming around, and so they went to the doctor, and they thought she had cancer, maybe a tumor. So they took an x-ray, and after the x-ray, you don't have a tumor, you're pregnant. So the idea of Timmy the tumor came up with that, so everything. So I always get an excuse for my behavior. If I act weird, I had x-rays through my head, as in the womb, so I've got an excuse. So any behavior I have, I think in court I can document that.
Yeah,
that's
I'm okay. A smart thing.
Yeah, so that's how it works.
We got enough. Mom, you've been awfully quiet, so I want to talk about you. You grew up in not Edina. You grew up in Bering, Missouri.
Well, actually, my first 9 years, I grew up on a farm on the county line by Greensburg, Missouri. My dad was a farmer, and
the population of Greensburg. Gotta tell them what the population.
I don't know, like 15,
like that. Yeah, maybe 40.
Yeah,
maybe 40. Let's be generous.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
40.
we lived on a farm, and my dad was a really successful farmer, and my mom was a homemaker who probably works harder than I've ever worked. Gardening and cooking for hired men and that sort of thing.
And then I know we had my great grandma McReynolds, right?
Yes.
I feel like we need to know a little bit about her.
Oh, well, her name was Beulah McReynolds, and she lived to be 98 years old. In her 90s, she was still raising hogs and on her roof, roofing her house. She was very, she loved you and your brother and all of her grandkids a lot.
Yeah, she had a lot.
Great grandkids, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to tell. Well, we pulled up one time. We went to visit her. That's before you guys were born, and we drive up there, and there she's on the roof, fixing some shingles. I said, "Grandma, you need to come down and stuff. I can do that for you and stuff." Like she's in her late 80s, up on a roof, up on a roof, off a ladder. I'm going, "Oh my gosh," So that was quite the thing.
Yeah. What was it? What did you tell me? Because her husband passed away when she was like in her 70s, right?
Right.
And so, what was the story about, like men like wanting to be her suitor?
Oh
or whatever?
yeah, she had men writing her letters and wanting her to date, and she said, "No, I don't want another old man to take care of."
So, if you want to think about like powerful women in this world, that was my great grandma McReynolds.
Yeah.
she was very unique. So, which was really funny because I remember, Dad, you told me that when Mom started dating, you had both Grandma McReynolds and her mom's dad, and you were just like worried about getting the rest of the family. I'm like, well, I think you got like what you needed covered.
Grandma McReynolds took a little more time. Her dad, we got along pretty well from almost the beginning and stuff. So that went good. I didn't have to worry about that part. But Grandma took a little longer, to come around. That's
because I know most guys when they're like dating, it's like, oh, I gotta like be good impression for her dad. So you got lucky, I guess, on both.
Yeah,
parts.
it was on that part, and Grandma took a little while, took a little longer, but then
as long as they come around.
I fell into favor. Yeah, especially when we got married, I really fell into favor. I'll say that. Yeah.
Knew you were serious, but Mom, yeah, and then so you both went, and so going up, you both middle of nowhere. Greensville? Greensburg.
But it was the farm, so it wasn't even in town.
The Greensburg farm. Okay. And so you grew up here and then St. Louis. There's a pretty big mileage gap between North St. Louis and Greensburg. So I think everyone wants to know how both of you met.
Well, we were both runners in college, and I was running for Truman State University, which was Northeast Missouri State University. And your dad was a teacher at Kirksville High School and the track coach there. And he was also running marathons at the time and friends of my track coach.
Yeah. So what would I do is some of the guys I knew on the team kept contact. And what I would do after I get off at Kirksville High, I would come down a couple of days a week and run with the guys at the college. Which you can't do now. NCAA doesn't allow you to do that. That's illegal. But anyway, you could do it back then. So I just happened to see her. Actually, first time, you want to tell her about the first time I saw you? You want me to say? First time I saw her, she was on a date with another guy in South Pizza Hut in Kirksville. Now, why is a town of 17,000 have two Pizza Huts? I don't know, but we do. Okay, you can rant and rave about that one. But I saw her at Pizza Hut. I go, wow, there's something special about this girl. And then later on, I saw her later that was in July, and I didn't see her again until like November. And then, then I thought about December, trying to ask her out. And that, and I'm 4 years older than she is. I understand it was kind of picky. So, I mean, it's strange. Here's this guy 4 years older, and she's a junior in college. So that was kind of strange. So I tried to handle it as best I could, but she turned me down like 3 times. Okay. And then I've never asked any girl out more than once. If I got turned down a lot, so I'm used to getting turned down. That was no big deal. But I never, if a girl turned me down once, I go, that's it. I'm finished with her.
Obviously, you don't want to be like too hassle. Like
go on to the next one. But this one, I thought there was something special about her. So, and then we went on by January. We went on our first date technically.
So, Mom, and so what I'm hearing is Dad wore you down.
Pretty much.
Didn't you say your roommates? Because this was before cell phones, and so he had to call like your dorm phone.
Right.
Correct. And so with situations like that for the younger listeners out there, this was just like one phone and you shared with all your roommates.
Right.
And so when Dad would call and you didn't answer, what would happen?
Well, my roommates really didn't want me to go out with them. And
You wouldn't go out with anybody.
Well, pretty much.
Because you had a past of going out with a lot of guys that weren't that weren't. It didn't work out very well. How's that?
maybe so.
Okay.
And so they just particularly didn't kind of said, well, she's not home or something like that to him. So he couldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's smart. I mean, like, but now, like, obviously that's not a problem anymore. You don't have, like, your roommates picking up your phone.
No, but they come and visit here every once in a while, and I'm supposed to be nice to him. It's like, back in my mind, I am nice to him, but in the back of my mind, you're the one.
It's like you're just waiting for your moment.
We wouldn't even have been here if I would have followed your directions, so on.
True.
Yeah.
No, she would never have this house or. But yeah, you're both runners, so like you both ran in college. So
Yes.
I was a distance runner. She was a sprinter.
Star-crossed.
Sprinter. Well, she's a small school 7-time state champion. That's pretty good in high school, and then she set several school records in college.
So for those of you who don't do sports and are just listening because this is a music podcast, my dad, he was a long distance. So what he would do, he would run like 30 miles or something close to that.
Well, a marathon's 26.2. I got into that. I tried to be competitive. Didn't quite get to where I wanted to go, but that's life.
And my mom was a sprinter, so that means she ran short distances, but she had to be really fast. So for like my dad, it was not the fact of going fast; it's just that keeping up the endurance and keeping up speed. And with my mom, it was just run as fast as you can.
That's right.
Pretty much.
You don't have to run that. You don't have to run that far. You just got to be fast.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, is there any other thing? Because you're a track coach, Dad. Is there?
Yeah, I still consider myself a teacher first, and then or instructor. I never really wanted to get in the coaching thing, but every job I could get had a connection. Coaching gave me an open door if I do both.
Yeah.
And then I taught high school, and that got me. I interviewed a couple. I wouldn't even get an interview for a job unless I could coach. So I took that. It opened doors for me, and then I went to grad school after 4 years of teaching high school, and then afterwards, doors kind of opened up. I could, but I still consider myself a teacher first. But I'm deep into it in the coaching part.
At this point,
Yeah.
he is the head coach of Truman State cross country and track and field.
Yes, I am.
And my mom also has a lot of coaching experience too. Correct, because actually, let me ask you this, Dad. I'll ask you this first, and I'll ask Mom. What did you study in college?
Undergraduate, I was a sociology undergrad, but I got a unique degree at Truman. It was a education degree, so it's a BSE, a Bachelor of Science of Education in sociology. But I was certified to teach all the social sciences, including history. So I got that, and I got a minor, what you call now exercise science. Okay, so I taught 4 years, and I went to grad school, and I just flipped my minor to made my minor my master's, which limited what schools I could go to. And Truman let me back in, and that worked out real good. So that kind of where I'm at. So.
And Mom, what did you study?
I started out as a physical education major, and then I switched to elementary education and got a double major. And then I've got my master's degree in teaching of reading. I'm an elementary teacher. I teach first grade. I've taught 32 years.
I know. So, like, when you see my mom, like, watch, every time I have to watch her, like, with kids, she's, like, very, I can see her just, all right, get in a straight line. And then the fear, like, creaks down their back, and they get in the straight line.
She has this weird, go ahead.
I actually even taught Sam in kindergarten.
I know.
Yeah.
I was in timeout a lot.
She's got this strange way. She could be like Mary Poppins, like a Mary Poppins, where Mary Poppins kept you in line, but you were happy about it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of, she's been called Mary Poppins before. And she does a lot of songs and stuff like that. She's a very good elementary teacher. I mean, some people go, oh, she's somebody's the best. There's a lot of people that are really good. There's a lot of good singers in the world, a lot of good musicians in the world. But she's in a good class. I mean, she's way up there. I will say that.
And so, also another thing I want to talk about, because you both coaches, but this isn't the first place we haven't lived here forever. We lived in Kansas for a while. So I want to talk about that, because people are very curious about me, because like I tell them, I lived in Kansas for 13 years, but then I lived in Missouri for 10 years. And they wonder how I'm both a Kansas Jayhawks fan and a Cardinals fan. And so, like, that's really confusing to some people, because they would assume, oh, you're probably a Royals fan, or like, oh, you're probably a Mizzou fan, or So explain like why we lived in Kansas for a while and then we moved to Missouri.
Well, it just we had a job when I get out of grad school. She was teaching, and she also worked on her master's in the summers and took some night classes and got her master's. The job came open, and we moved to Highland, Kansas, a sleepy little town of 1,000 people, 23 miles west of St. Joseph, Missouri, the home of the Pony Express, or the start of the Pony Express. And so we just, I thought we'd stay there 3 or 4 years, but next thing you know, and then we had you guys, you and your brother, and we thought it was a pretty good place to raise kids as far as the elementary school part goes, and that's how we stayed there.
I mean, it's a quirky little town. There's a show on Netflix called The Ranch. I don't know if you watched it. It's like a small farm town. And I'm like, it kind of reminds me of Highland in a little bit. Like, I'm like, okay, but it's definitely just like stuck in time.
It's stuck in time. We it's been 11 years, 12 years, almost 12 years since we lived there. We go back there for a couple things. There's a couple of people that have gotten in the Hall of Fame from track, and I've done their introductions to go back there, and they go, every time I think they're stuck in time. One strange thing about it is 2 guys that I coached there. I've got a guy on the team as a freshman this year. I coached his dad and his uncle, and he comes in, and first thing is, he goes, Highland's stuck in time. He just said it out of the blue. I go, oh my gosh, it's like, he kind of wanted to get out. He likes it, but he wanted to get out and go to school somewhere else. So yeah, it is kind of stuck in time. That's for sure.
There's like no stoplights whatsoever.
I don't think they got the blinking light anymore. They used to have the blinking light up by the grocery store, which the grocery store shut down.
But so they don't need the blinky light anymore.
They don't even need the blinking light anymore. No.
So it's one of those types of towns, which, they have their moments to shine.
They have good things.
Yeah, it's like good things. The people are friendly. You kind of just know everyone. So if you think about like community, it's really great for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then for like if you need groceries, it's not.
Not now.
Not anymore. It's not
good. No.
But and so you moved Kansas, and then about 12 years ago, 2006, you moved back to Kirksville. So you're just making a big circle of your life. In the between all of that, though, you had 2 kids. The first one, I guess, was a mistake, right? And the second one was like we finally got it right.
No. Your brother's gonna love that. No, you guys were both planned.
Okay.
We'll just say we couldn't get the timing down exactly. We wanted both of you to be born in June, and one of you were born in August, and your brother in September.
Yeah.
But so she'd have 3 months before she'd go back to work or something like that, whatever we decided to do. So, but no, you were both planned. No mistakes.
You had to get the maternity leave. I was perfect because with the maternity leave, because like I was born middle of August, and so that's pretty much when most like elementary schools start classes, and so perfect timing for maternity leave.
Well, I was very fortunate that our school let me take a year's leave of absence, so I was able to stay home.
Really good thing
first
about
year.
Small schools, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was because of Mr. Clary, the principal.
Yeah,
he was a great person.
Mom had a good boss, which we figured out. He said that McDonald's French fries use sugar, and I actually figured that out. They actually do. So, the other day
I always wondered about that.
I know. I actually figured out it was right.
Documented evidence.
Mr. Clary was a great guy.
Yeah, he was a very good guy.
So
he came over and visited us when we were thinking about moving, and he heard about it, and he moved and he goes, "You guys should move." He goes, I just really feel you guys should move. He says, "We love you here, but you shouldn't." He's already retired from teaching, but he gave us a push. I mean, and not that because he said so, we moved, but he gave a push. That's for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, Mom's first, I guess, your longest boss at this point in your life.
Yes.
Yeah. So like that. So yeah, we moved here, and then so the first child you had. I mean, you kind of messed a few things up, right? Yeah. We can say Matt. I think we can say Matt.
Not the way when you were growing up, you didn't believe that, but and everything.
You met some.
Matt was he's the first child, and he liked to give orders. He liked to give you orders and stuff, and that frustrated you to death. That's because, and I don't blame him. We even told him, "You're not the parent. You're not the third parent. There's 2 parents, not 3." And he was always trying to do that to you. So, but you had your problems too.
But I remember because I helped you convert your VHSs to DVDs of us when we were kids, and Matt was this crazy child, and so in my mind, I think, why would you want to have a second? Like, because you're thinking like if the first one's like this, don't you think good odds the second child was going to be like this as well?
Well, people told us that your two children are always alike, and that's definitely was true.
You just took the chances?
We had that. You were a great baby from. We need to start talking about you, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because we're running out of time, right? So we need to start talking about you.
Yeah.
You were a great, age 2. You were a great baby, easy to work with, right? Jump in any way you want and everything. And then we got in the terrible 2s, and you weren't terrible at all. You were great. And then you got to 3. And it went downhill from age 3. We thought we got through the terrible 2s. This is great. This kid's gonna be great. And then it started.
Well, I like to say because a lot of people can like do something, stop, do it again, like stop. I'll procrastinate starting something, but when I start it, I won't like stop doing it. I'll continue to do that.
That was like walking. You took forever to walk. But when you started walking, boom, that was it.
And I tell people that. It's like if I have a big task, I'm going to procrastinate getting started. But once I get started, it's going to get finished.
And we can
I think it's just like my personal habit.
Yeah, just the way it is. Yeah. You are like that as you were a child.
Because that's what you said, potty training and
potty training. Yeah,
walking.
You can say potty.
It took me like a while to get potty trained, but then I started out.
Then it's like, and then we didn't have any problem. Like some kids like wet the bed even after potty training. Not you. You were like, once you started, boom, that was it. So that was a nice.
Which is nice. You just start doing something and you do it forever.
You growing up, the best way you learned was trial and error learning, which sometimes you were, as a parent, you were by an error. Because the error could be like, okay, let's burn your hand on the stove. You know what I'm saying?
Like, ow.
Yeah, it's like, but let's burn and have permanent damage or something. So you kind of learn best by trial and error, which you kind of scares you as a parent, but once you learn,
it scares you as an adult too.
And once you learn though, you did fine. But that's the way you learn best.
Yeah, I think it just was a practice. That's for me. Yeah, practicing something. That's how I. Which I guess is most like especially when you do music, it's just like you have to practice something. Like you're not naturally good at something. You have to like practice to actually get good. And which is like everything though, in my mind.
Now, like you talk about music, kind of get you in that. When you did piano lessons, when did you start?
First or second grade.
I mean,
I think I was 6.
Yeah, first grade. So you didn't like to practice, so I had to sit with you. And then when we moved to Kirksville, you said you thought you were good enough, and so you didn't need any more lessons.
Yep,
and I said, good. I don't want to sit beside you and make you practice anymore.
And so, one thing with you, if you did a recital, your brother was pretty good at pianos. I mean, he was pretty good for his age. You know what I'm saying? And even when in high school, he's pretty good. But if he messed up, it freaked him out. If you messed up, you just kept going. You do a recital and you'd be going, and I could tell you made a little mistake, and you could tell you knew you made a mistake, but you just keep going.
It's a jazz thing.
Right.
I was playing jazz from
at 6, 7 years old. That was you.
Because and one thing I know, I think it's a mental thing with, especially if you're playing, when you mess up, and we all learned this when I was playing in the jazz band in school, is that if you messed up, like you just immediately knew it, and I think that's what Matt had the problem with. But then you realize, someone else, did you hear me mess up? No. I don't think to you it's a lot more mentally stronger than to someone else. But then you have those moments where like you mess up and then everyone notices it. So.
I tell you the part of really, you growing up is when do you remember when you did that play? Was it Highland?
Oh, okay.
The kids play. It was a kids play. They put it on during the summer.
Okay, I think I remember that one.
I don't know if that was a year before we moved here.
Might have been.
It might be I was scared to death because you got the lead, and you had these lines, like, you had a book of a pamphlet worth of lines, and I'm going, oh man, can he do this? Can you do this? And I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna find out. And so you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you nailed it, but it took. I thought, man, you never did. I helped you some with your lines, but most of it you did on your own. I did help. I think your mom helped you out a lot, but that when you did that, there was kind of in my mind there was a kind of a spark to go, entertainment might be there might be something there. You know what I'm saying?
Like a 5th grader playing Highland, Kansas. That's where
5th or 6th, something like that.
In the little college there.
It was a children play. And you got the lead. It's
like I got the lead, so I got some things like some credits on my acting.
Yeah, I did.
Like get an acting resume.
That's not on your resume.
No, it's just the 6th grade
resume builder.
Play.
You haven't mentioned that in previous podcast.
No.
Okay, all right.
I think I mentioned. I did I like doing the pit bands a lot more because I feel like I couldn't get along with the directors. I wasn't very good at that. I think it's just my producer mentality. Where I can get along with the band conductor because they kind of let you do a free thing, but as long as it fits the structure of the music. And I think my band director, and I guess you go to church with him, FYI, and he bought my old car.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
He's gifting it to someone, so I was kind of hoping he would be the one driving it, so it'd just be like that weird mentality.
Well,
my band teacher's driving my old car.
He drove it the day you came home and stuff, and the license is expired. Highway Patrol, Missouri Highway Patrol, we'll give you a warning here. The plates are expired, but he's been driving a little bit, I think, until he gives it away, but kind of give it like that. But yeah. So
the car has a couple more years. I think it's going to reach 200,000.
Well, yeah, probably. The escorts were good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, you thought back in 5th grade?
I thought there was something there. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's the first time I had a spark, and then you enjoyed band.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time.
Middle school. When you're that age, you don't like anything all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And stuff. Middle school, kind of there, and then, I'm sure you disagree with this because I know you did not like moving to Kirksville, but it was a good move for you as far as it was a good move because the music program. I mean, there's basically no music program where we're at now. You had a music program, and you make. You're in choir. Mm-hmm. You moved way up in choir in high school real quick.
Real fast. And
jazz band.
A lot of problems with that.
You in jazz band sophomore year?
Yeah, that's when I started.
Yeah, boom.
Because the problem was, because I'm not like one of those people with like a big head. In my mind, I don't try to act like it. But the choir director, not before Murphy Hendricks, he told all these people, was like, oh, I got these great 8th graders, there's Sam Schwegler, and he would like talk about me. So, going in, all the upperclassmen hated me already.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, I can see that.
That was I'm like, I didn't choose this.
Yeah. But, I think you had a good experience in high school. I mean, you took 3 music classes on a 7-day. I was just hoping you could graduate from high school.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
They were just like, you can't get into college without a foreign language class, and I proved them wrong.
No, you can't. It depends on the college you go to. Mm-hmm. That's
I think in your major, too.
Yeah, major comes into play, too, and stuff. And then you pick Central Missouri. I thought it was, that's like, athletically, when I was in college, that was like the death. That was like putting a knife through my heart. But I thought it was good. No, it was a good school.
If I would have done sports, you would have been like heartbroken.
I was still a little bit heartbroken, but I'm the one. Hey, you want me to take you there to visit? So I knew it was a good place for it, and I thought they had the technology. And I found out more when we got there. They had a lot of technology, a lot of good equipment to play.
The music teachers were good.
Yeah,
can't talk about the rest of the school, but I can say that I'll personally vouch for the music.
Yeah, program
teachers get. You don't have a lot of, because I think we were talking about this the other day. It's like you go to other schools and like you play drum set or you play guitar, and like teachers will say your instrument is not real, and then like you're paying their salary. At least the school I went to, they were just like, yeah, you should do that, you should pursue that, you should move to Nashville and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I had teachers like that who would be like, okay, here's what Beethoven did, and yep, here we go. Lady Gaga's doing the same thing even now.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's just ridiculous.
There's some. It's probably, it might go over your head, no offense, but
it's all right.
But might not be for this episode. But so you would say, what age for me, what age I was, or what year?
For what? I mean, I don't understand.
Of when you thought I could have a attempt, you were like all on board, because I know now you're on board with me trying to do music. But not every parent.
When you got into high school, by the time you were a junior, maybe even sophomore. You're kind of talking about it and stuff. And then, I kind of, for me, I think that clicked. I go, he's probably going to want to do something like this and stuff. And it's like, your grandparents were real good. I mean, your grandmother on the Schwegler side, had a high school education.
Yeah.
She did graduate high school. She probably made a pretty good accountant. Yeah, but, if she ever got to go, but that wasn't going to happen in their situation. Your grandfather had 10th grade education, but was a really bright guy, really on top. Both of them were top on politics. They read the newspaper. Yeah. I mean, they were, great. I think they're great people. With me, I think, I wasn't kind of a oos baby, kind of, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to, kind of not supposed to happen, but, I had an opportunity, and they let me have the opportunity to go do what I want to do. I was afraid to tell them I wanted to go into teaching.
Yeah.
Because when I went to college, I didn't really say it out loud or anything. I wasn't really sure. And when I go home, he said, "That's great. Go, do it." You got to remember your grandfather. When this is back in the '80s, he graduated in 1980. That's when I graduated. Yeah. He retired in 1980. Excuse me. When I He retired like 2 months after I graduated.
Okay.
From college. He made $15,000. Okay, my first job was 12. So I'm making like 80% of what he made, and $12,000 wasn't very much. That was a poor teacher salary.
Yeah.
People were like, "Why did you go into that? That doesn't make very much." You know. So
keep in mind
so
this was the '80s. So
he was in like
inflation.
go whatever you do it well. You know, go out and do it and see how it works out. And life will take you. You don't know what road life's going to take you down. You know what I'm saying? So I think they kind of instilled that in me, and hopefully, I want you guys to go.
Yeah.
You and your brother to go down the path you wanted to go to. So. Somewhere around there, I thought, you know, when we moved to Kirksville, we moved here. I don't know if you remember this, but your mom had a guitar. I bought her. And she played it for like 3 weeks and put it down. So I had it. I don't know if we were here or right before, or we may have been in still Highland before we moved. I picked it up. I played a couple chords, and you kind of like fascinated with this. And then I go, well, if you want. You know, we can get you lessons. And then when you got here, you know, we get you lessons.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that kind of took off. So, I mean, and then you started picking up other instruments, you know, banjo, bass. I mean, you can do other stuff. We tried to, as much money we could.
We had a drum set for a while down here.
Well, that was the church's fault. Because they went with those stupid electronic drums.
Oh, my God. Don't get me.
No. Okay. I know. But they went with that. So, the youth guy goes, "Hey, we need a place to store these. Could you store these at your house?" So he was part of that, and so like that. So
for you to have,
so practice and stuff. So and electronics. We're back with the other drums now. But we don't have. We have a semi drum. Every once in a while, I get somebody can drum. Anyway, so so you just kept picking up instruments, and then you always liked the writing thing. You liked that from like junior high, or middle school. You like writing, so I kind of caught on to that and stuff. So you just kept picking up. And I go, hey, he might want to pursue this. And I was glad when you went in music technology because
there's at least a backup. You could get a job.
Well, it just opens up other opportunities.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. If you don't make it on your own, singing or playing, stuff like that, and you like the. And why I thought that was a good idea. The music technology thing is because you like to tinker with things. You like to take things apart.
Yeah.
Not always put them completely back together. You like to borrow my tools, and I never could find my tools because you take things apart, put it back together, and fix it. And you got a mechanical mind, so I thought the technology thing would also be a good thing for you too. So that's where I thought everything started to kind of take off for me and everything. Somewhere around there, somewhere in high school.
Mom, do you agree with all this, or do you have a different story?
Yes, I do. I think about like you were kind of a performer, like even in kindergarten when you were in my kindergarten class, because like when my parent came in the room, you raised your hand and you said, "Well, Mrs. Schwegler can't go. Mrs. Schwegler, my mom can't go on the field trip because she has to work."
She did have to work.
And I was the teacher.
She had other things to do.
And you also, like the PE teacher thought you were so smart because you knew everybody's class in the whole kindergarten. You knew all their birthdays. And you said the reason was because the birthday chart was hung up by the timeout chair.
It was.
Yeah.
It made sense.
And the ABCs were there, and you
I got it backwards.
Yes, and you drove your brother crazy because he could never get it down.
I was like, you got to get in trouble
crazy.
more. That's the trick.
Yeah, and everything. So, I thought you had talent, so we just wanted to.
Right. Well, on the guitar, you were incredible when you learned how to play the guitar. You learned it so quickly. And you weren't.
Well, we just moved here and I had no friends. I think that was the trick.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. Well, you want lessons, it's like, and then you got eventually. Into it, and
that's what I tell people: if you really want to pick up an instrument quickly, just move to a town where you have no friends.
Well,
you have nothing to do.
Well, I think you were very talented. That might have gave you more time to practice.
Well, another thing, you can listen to music and kind of go ahead and play it. Now that took a while to.
It's like an auditory learner.
It took a little bit, but there's something clicks in your head. You're wired a certain way up there in the brain that do that. So you kind of put things together and let people pursue their dreams and your grandparents helped me somewhat pay for college, and I paid some of myself. Yeah. What I want to do for you guys, and I know you complain about we never went on real vacations. We went on historical vacations and all that stuff. I've heard that in the podcast and everything. But I hear that all the time. But we could have probably went on more, but I wanted to save college for you because I wanted you to come out of college without debt.
Yeah.
which is really,
especially today, yeah.
15 years ago, I didn't realize this as much as do now. I mean, it's a big factor now than it was then. I had a little debt that I paid off too quick. And when you had 2% interest and you pay it off real quick and you buy a car for 12% back in the Reagan years, that wasn't a good idea. But anyway, I wanted you not to have that burden on you all your life because, I hear people, all the time about, I've got this debt I got to pay off, stuff like that. I didn't want you to have to pay off a house, which was college debt. So we save money so you can get through college.
The trick of debt you need to have is just like, if you tell someone else how much it is and they just like get really angry at you.
Well, yeah. How much debt you have or something?
Or something like that, like you have a little bit of credit card, but you pay off like every month.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that,
That's what we do. I think we paid by mistake, or they didn't get our signal.
I pay like the minimum amount,
we paid probably maybe $7 in all these years of credit cards.
Yeah.
Interest, that's all. And that was all by mistakes.
Yeah.
And a couple of times we called the credit card people, and I'm in, paying things off.
Yeah.
I don't like debt. I got a little debt now, and I'm still on the house, and then I just bought a new vehicle.
Yeah.
But I don't like that at all. So that's how that goes. But anyway.
So we got two more topics I want to talk about. I didn't put this one down in our little thing. I want you to. We talk about this a little bit on the show, a lot of episodes back. But your best man at your wedding, he taught at school with Sheryl Crow.
Yes. You want me to tell? I'll tell the story.
This is a good story to tell.
This is a story.
We want the full story.
My best man was like a few years younger than me. And he got out. He wanted to get into a good St. Louis school district, start teaching. Well, the Rockwood School District in St. Louis is like probably the best school district right now. Pay and everything, everybody wants to get in there. So he got out of college, and so they didn't have a job for him, but they said, if you be a full-time sub, so you go there and you sub quite a bit all through the day, you never know what you're going to do. But if you're full-time sub, and then when a position comes open, because there's like, there was at the times three high schools, now there's 5. We'll move you into a slot, and it usually takes 1 year.
Yeah,
and they showed examples to him. So Sheryl Crow and him were full-time subs. Supposedly how the story goes. I'm just going by what he tells me. If it's wrong, I'll give you his name and you can and his address, and you guys can contact him. So him and Sheryl Crow were full-time subs. And they were subs. They spent a lot of time together, stuff like that, lunch. So it get to be springtime, and they go, and Sheryl goes, I think I'm going to go to LA and try this music thing. And Tom tried to talk her out of it. He said, oh, no, this is a great future for you. You got everything, you got insurance and pension and everything like that. Don't go, Sheryl. You're going to make a mistake. Don't go. Well, she did. And like now he's got a story that, oh my gosh, I tried to talk Sheryl Crow out of from not going. What would have happened with that?
I know. Which in my mind, it's just like she can always get back into teaching, but her hourglass would probably be ticking on the music career.
Yeah, it would. I mean,
she made the right. I think she made the right choice, even if music didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different. I mean, once you get into the school district,
it was just
depends
annoying.
What your goals are down the line. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So.
It was just annoying because I actually ran into Sheryl once, and I wish I would have remembered this story.
Do you remember Tom kick him?
Yeah. Do you remember? Yeah, you remember Tom best man at my dad's wedding.
Yeah.
He told me a good story about you.
He's got a story about So that's always kind of a funny story. And he just told us. We just saw him again this summer. We ate dinner with him, and he told this story again. So.
Because I tell some people who are like talk about Sheryl Crow. I'm like, so I have a good Sheryl Crow story.
Yeah.
But now. Because, Dad, you've been listening to the show a lot. Mom, not so much, which I always thought was going to be the other way around. But anyway, so you want to get some corrections about what I've said about you on the show, correct? Or do you have a couple things?
Well, I don't know. There's some things you said. I can't remember now. You got me on the spot and stuff like that. Not exactly... I don't know. I can't remember.
But if there's anything you want to say about me or anything, it's your time to
it's okay.
Me.
It's roast time.
Yeah, it's roast time. So, Mom, you get free game, too.
Okay. Do you got anything you want to roast them on?
Let me think about it.
Okay. Oh, you want to think about it?
Go ahead.
Well, something, like, one thing you said, music, like something you said, parents don't really realize about music, kids in their music until early. And that wasn't true about you, because I think I recognized early that that's what you kind of wanted to do, and stuff like that and everything. I remember that one time, and then I don't know. I can't remember. I'm on the spot. Man, I had this down really good.
You're just like, I had so many talking points.
Topics. I can't think about the talking points and stuff like that. You you talk about being a Midwest. That's that's fine. I don't think the Midwest is that much.
I don't think you represent the entirety of this region of the United States.
No, I don't think I do either. But you're out of place. I think I'm a little more southerner than you are, even though you live there now. You know what I'm saying? Now that you live in the Athens of the South.
Is that technically what we call Tennessee?
Tennessee is known as the Athens.
Okay.
Nashville is known as the Athens of the South.
Okay.
That's why they built the replica of the Parthenon.
The Parthenon.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You're somebody who grew up there probably could tell you that. With that, so a lot of background now. I guess it's Christmas time. I'm going to be nice and not,
it's okay.
Not bring up too much there.
It's okay. It's
but,
like
we already brought up some of the stories, and stuff.
You have
like
any
that.
stories from me as a little kid that you just you're still annoyed about?
Boy, you hate to move to Kirksville.
Oh yeah, I was.
Oh my gosh, and I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought Matt would hate it and you would like it, but you do. Wow.
I think it was timing of like our age, because I think how Kirksville's set up, because it's like 6th, 7th, and 8th grades of middle school, and then it's 9 through 12 high school. Because so with like 6th grade coming in, like everyone's kind of new, and you kind of didn't know everyone in your class from being elementary school, because you were with like the same 20 kids, they're just different every year. And then when you get to middle school, it's like you're with class with everyone. And so when I came in the middle of middle school, so that was weird, because everyone already had like their groups and everything.
Yeah, I think that part's tough.
I think that was weird. That was what was different. And then Matt was came as a freshman
year.
And so what he did was he, because like everyone's new, it felt like you had that all new again, because you had new kids coming in from like, there's the Catholic school that only goes up to 8th grade. And so like you have that, and then you have other kids, and you had band, and band was very like family oriented. So that made it easier for Matt than for me. And so
what helped when we switched band directors? Because that former band director that you had a little problem with one time. I mean, he started teaching when I did at Kirksville High, because I taught here and stuff like that. And I remember, oh my gosh, I think I told you he's still teaching. Remember, I think I told you I can't believe that. So I backed you as much as I could.
It's funny because every student, because you're both teachers, every student can remember like a really good teacher in their life. But you can also remember that really bad teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that one always sticks out. You just never talk about them.
Yeah.
They don't really deserve it.
That's true. I remember, and one of my teams did well at the state meet, got a state trophy, and my picture was in the trophy case. I remember you coming home. Oh my gosh, I can't get away from you.
I know. Yeah, you're in the
your trophy case in the cafeteria.
You probably have more awards hung up around the school than I do.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure the only thing left there of me, the high school. There's probably my picture in the band room, because they have one of every graduating class. Yeah. And then the one in the hallway.
Well, you got an award coming out of high school.
Oh yeah, I got the Louis Armstrong.
Yeah. Which was deserved.
Which is a good one. I mean, there's 4 people in our jazz band, so
4 people is more than 4 people.
No, the senior class.
Oh, the senior class. Okay.
So like I had a good 25% chance of.
Well,
there was 2 awards, so I had a good 25% chance of getting one of them
and stuff like that. So and everything, but yeah, it's as kids. You need to tell a story about him climbing up, getting the chips.
Okay.
Yes, I always like to walk or run on the treadmill, and you and Matt were little, probably 3 and 5 or 2 and 4.
Yeah.
So you were either 2 or 3 years old, and I couldn't believe I got a whole workout in, and you didn't come in tattling on each other. So I finally got off the treadmill, and I looked, and it was still quiet. And then I found you on top of the refrigerator eating potato chips.
Okay. I think there's the real problem here is, why did you put them on top of the refrigerator?
Well, because you would eat them all. And so, like...
The problem
like you pull down...
The knives.
Oh, the knives were up there too. That was what was horrible.
We put the knives on top of the fridge because so you wouldn't accidentally, climb up on the counter and grab them and stab each other or stab yourself. So that was the scary part. Yeah.
So you got your little chair, and then you got on top of the dishwasher, opened it up, and then got up on the cabinet, and I think you put the chair on the chair on the dishwasher with the door open, and then got on the counter, and then got on top of the microwave to get on top of the refrigerator.
So rock climbing is maybe a future.
Yeah,
you might have maybe the genes for that for somehow.
So, but I see, because my side of the story is that if you didn't want me to get near the knives, why would you put the chips up there? That was
Well, I tell you what, though, you were very, most of the time, you're maybe smart aleck or something like that, but you were like, sorry, Mommy, you were really sincere.
I know. Please don't ever do that again. He goes, I promise, Mommy, I won't.
Yeah, sincerity.
Did you put the chips back up there ever again?
I don't know.
I mean, that's probably the end. I probably didn't have to at that point.
There was a little concern about you graduating from high school. I was worried, like, because you didn't like math, you didn't like English. Mm-hmm. I was worried about that, but you did, graduate with a good GPA, good enough GPA.
I wrestled
and then
through.
in college, you did. I was afraid, he's not going to go to class enough. He's not going to study. I was worried. Mm-hmm. But you pulled through. I got to give you, you got the, very, very proud of that.
In the words of clarinet professor Dr. Guy, if you're getting B's and A's in your gen eds, you're not practicing enough.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, so that's a music. That's definitely a music. It's not like it sounds like it's like a Division I college football coach.
Yeah, it's like if you're getting,
you need to be watching film. You need to be,
that's all your classes.
Yeah, in the weight room. Yeah, that's all your classes.
That's all your classes. Not just, but they want you have to get like good grades in your music classes. It's just your gen ed.
Just your gen ed. Who needs that? Well, Truman is a liberal arts and science school.
Yeah,
it's got some tough standards to get into where I teach, and at one time they had if this one president was there and if any faculty or hired faculty, if you had a D in any classes, they would not hire you.
Really?
Right? Yeah, at one time they had to drop that. A new president came in and goes, "Well, we got to drop that because they couldn't find good quality art and music people."
Yeah, there's
a lot of music people who are excellent teachers, excellent professors, but they had a D in history or math
like
or
they're
science or something.
yeah.
Like why something they didn't really care about. So they had to actually drop that.
With like music classes, it's
I'll
like
probably get a reprimand for saying that about Truman, but
no,
that's
I mean, I don't think your full name is going to be on the episode. It's just going to be Mom and Dad.
That's okay. That's all right. No, so I don't think we'll see how far your listenership goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
That'd be a good sign. If they do find out, that'd be a good sign for this podcast.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sure. Yeah, I got the whole Truman State
music department.
Not is it the music department, but yeah, that is definitely a thing with music. It's like it's hard to when you have to take like 18 hours a semester, and then with these gen eds, it's like and you have to practice too. Like some things are gonna have to take the back burner a little bit.
Yeah.
So those are your gen ed classes.
Something's gonna. Some of
those are just like I've not had any. You like literally only had to take them because you wanted the degree, not anything.
Yeah, and
else.
I knew that being in college education for so long, I knew a lot of that's true. But you come back and say, well, that's a 0 credit class, and that's a 0. I got I got this 1 hour class. I got to go to it like 6 hours a week or something. Going.
We made a joke with the guy who was in charge of the professor who was in charge of the recital attendance, the 0 hour class, that he had his he has his doctorate in like vocal performance, but we said he has his we just made the joke he had his doctorate in recital attendance, and it was a 0 credit hour doctorate program. So he ended his degree with 0 credits.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So, but anyways, we're nearing the end of the episode. Do you guys have unless you guys have any more roasting you want to get out?
We're going to try to be nice this time. If we've ever come back on again, I'll start writing things down.
So, yeah, we'll not do this. This might be our yearly thing. So
we'll see.
So, okay. So, we got the family here today. So everyone say hi. So, we got my mom, Nancy Schwegler.
Hi.
And Tim Schwegler.
Hey.
So, if you remember them from last year's Schwegmas, episode 1. And this year, we got my brother, Matt, on the show. So, Matt, say hi.
Hello.
Okay. Matt, here's a quick question. No. I've asked Mom and Dad this many, many times. Have you listened to the Schwegcast at all?
Maybe about a minute of maybe one podcast.
Okay, what episode do you remember?
No.
Okay, well, what made you stop?
I really don't remember. I don't know.
That's good. And you two been keeping up with the show more frequently.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, I haven't. The last few, I have not. But over the summer, yeah, I was listening to it pretty faithfully. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but mom's. It's not a book, so mom's not reading. Isn't that the correct solution?
Yeah.
Okay, and so, but for our first topic, I wanted to say, and I just thought about it. Me, Mom, Dad were having an argument the other day. Matt wasn't involved. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Is that an argument, or
Is that, or it's more of a fact?
Is it really an argument? Okay.
But Mom says it's not a Christmas movie. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
So why do you say it's not a Christmas movie?
Because it's all about killing.
Well, okay.
No, it's about good cheer.
Well, like
Have good cheer,
about
Theo.
murder.
It's Christmas.
but we're talking about like in a Santa Claus with Tim Allen, like you have to kill the old Santa to become the new Santa.
But that was an accident.
No, you don't kill people on that. Oh, what are you doing on my roof? You think like if someone was on your roof, would you be pretty mad about it?
Yeah, but why would we kill them?
Not Santa.
Well, you don't know it's Santa. You just think it's some.
It's Christmas Eve. If somebody's on the roof, I would assume it was Santa.
A lot of people like rob different houses on Christmas Eve. Isn't that the thing that happens?
Yeah, that does happen.
I feel like since we don't have a chimney, that the roof's probably safe.
Okay.
I think Mom has a rational argument here.
So do you not believe
Thank you, man.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
I have no say in this argument.
Okay. So because I checked, I did a Facebook poll. I think 96% of my Facebook followers believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
And I voted.
Yeah,
It was only
favor
like
of it.
a poll of 25 people.
Yeah, but 25 people still
Shots
voted.
fired.
Well, I think if you go over nationally that it is a Christmas movie, obviously one evidence of that would be they're having a Die Hard marathon on Christmas Day because it's a Christmas movie. So I think that in itself is evidence that it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
So-
what element makes it a Christmas movie?
It has it's during Christmas.
That's
one.
No.
Okay, there's several lines related to Christmas in there.
Please quote.
It's at a mall on Christmas too.
I
Like,
concur. Please quote.
No,
is it not at a mall? What I thought?
No, it's at Nagataki Square or
Oh.
Center or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, it's a business. Yeah.
Okay,
First
so-
Die Hard.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah, you're thinking of the second one. You're thinking of mall, but it's an airport.
Okay.
That's probably what you're
Same
thinking about. Okay. Mall, airport, all
Mall,
same thing.
airport.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of good evidence to say it is a Christmas movie. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Well, you
yeah.
didn't say the quotes that were Christmas quotes.
I don't want to misquote the movie, but I will. Okay, there's one in there where Hans Gruber, the villain, he has a worker named Theo, and they have one lock left, and I don't know how I'm going to get the unlock to get the money out of the vault, and he goes, "Patience, Theo. Have faith, Theo. It's Christmas. This is the time of miracles." So I mean, that is obviously a Christmas quote right there. So yeah. I could go on, but I don't know how long we want to spend
Matt,
on
I
this
think
subject.
Matt wants to say something.
I feel like for it to be a Christmas movie, it's got to have the Christmas spirit in it somewhere.
Oh, it definitely does.
I haven't
That-
seen.
that-
I have not seen this movie.
That line. Okay, you're talking about a movie you haven't seen, so you
I
can't.
can't. But that's why
You can't be a judge.
I'm unbiased here.
Okay, so zip. No. It's a Christmas movie. It's just what you're feeling.
because it's Christmas Eve right now while we're recording it, and I think it's coming out the 26th.
Okay.
So tomorrow we are going to watch Die Hard because we're going to get it recorded and watch it.
I hope so.
So we can make the executive decision tomorrow if it is or isn't.
I can't wait.
I know. Well, I mean, you've been watching like 430 Hallmark movies. Like, isn't that your
No,
favorite?
only 200.
Only 200 this year. And I mean, they all have the same premise. So, like, what is your reaction to saying that these Hallmark movies are Christmas movies over like Die Hard? Because really, it's just the same Lifetime Hallmark movies, but just with Christmas involved.
Yes, but it's the feeling of Christmas where they're making gingerbread houses and giving to each other and decorating and doing kind things to each other, not trying to kill each
Rather
other.
than cars blowing
they're
up in an
not-
onslaught. Yes.
Wait. Okay, I want 36. Can I
Yeah,
have 36
go for
rebuttal? Okay, all right. John, who is the lead character in Die Hard, is trying to save his wife from the terrorist. Or actually, not terrorists, they're actually thieves, but they sell themselves as terrorists.
Christmas movies should not even have the word terrorist in it.
Okay, let's not. Do we want to further investigate Hallmark movies?
Do we? I mean,
We do, because I've had to watch enough of these with my wife.
Okay, yeah.
With a bonding experience. Okay, with the bonding experience of sitting on the couch watching these movies together, and they're 2 hours in length with commercials. All right, typically between 137 into the movie and 146 into the movie, there's a breakup between the male and female characters.
As is tradition, yeah.
Okay, and then by the time you get to 153 or 156, they make up.
And that's how you know the scientific fact of what a real Christmas movie is.
Well,
And,
it's gotta
like-
break down the science of this.
Yeah,
right?
you know, like the male character's like a off-brand Ryan Reynolds. It's like not Ryan Reynolds, but like a guy who could be Ryan Reynolds, but
it's a
not
guy-
as funny.
Who is it?
No, it's just
Well, they
in the
have a
Hallmark
look-alike.
movies.
You know, they get some kind of look-alike. A Ryan Reynolds look-alike.
Yeah, it's like it's like
or something like that.
a more holiday name.
It's like all the women like, oh, we want. It's like, you know.
Not like a Ryan. I feel like it's more like a Ryan Gosling.
Okay, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
That would be good. Okay, let's use Ryan Gosling.
and their
'cause
names
he-
like Nick
Yeah.
or Chris. You know,
And, you know, with
you know,
Ryan-
her name is Holly or Joy. Or,
Dexter.
And if you think about The Notebook, he should have dumped her a long time ago and found another somebody else because
I haven't seen the Notebook either.
Okay,
I
all right.
can't do
Well,
that.
okay.
but anyway, since we're speaking on Christmas, you have what is your favorite Christmas movie, Mom?
It's a Wonderful Life.
And we watch it every year on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
So Matt, Dad, are we sick of It's a Wonderful Life yet?
No, I cry at the end every time.
I could do it one time a year. I can do it for your mother.
I
Yes.
can do it once.
It's a
too.
good
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's my money, Uncle Billy? Where's my money?
Yeah, I don't think he exactly says that. Where's the money? But
Where's
yeah.
the money, Uncle
Yeah,
Billy?
so, you know.
Do you think that he should have trusted Uncle Billy with the money?
No, he's a drunk.
Yeah, true. I wouldn't trust Uncle Billy with my money.
Well, was Uncle Billy really a drunk? He just got drunk that one time at the wedding. Did we see any other evidence of
We'll
Uncle Billy
count this
being...
time. I'll
I
count
think he
for
had
fun.
a mental illness.
Oh,
I don't think
Oh.
so. I think he was just
Because
drunk all the time.
he couldn't remember and he tied the strings to his fingers. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a mental illness? I don't know.
Well, he had like a bird on his shoulder, and
I think he was just weird.
Well, Matt's got a bird. That doesn't mean he's got a mental illness.
he doesn't walk around with it on his shoulder,
I
though.
do,
He
actually.
does. He does play with Rocket. And then he goes, "Arr, I'm a pirate."
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, like Mr. Quigley's Village, you know, you had to put, all right, time for you to be quiet, and let me put your little napkin over the
hood
cage.
Hood over the cage. Yeah.
so you can be quiet.
You better
me alone.
I did
clarify
that
to
too.
your listeners who Mr.
So
Quigley is.
Mr. Quigley is like an off-brand Mr. Rogers, from what I remember obscurely from my childhood. We probably still have some cassettes, VHSs of him somewhere.
If they haven't deteriorated, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it was like very. I don't remember. Mom, do you remember it better than I do?
Puppets.
There are puppets, a lot of
Yeah.
puppets.
Yeah. He was the only human.
Back in the day,
I was trying to get you to be
I
a
think.
nice boy. It was something to help you be
how,
nice.
how did that work out?
Well, you know, the theme was "Be Nice" that you heard, and that, and,
Be nice was immoral, yes.
yes, be nice. So,
But I think the question is, how did it work out? Is
fair, partly cloudy. Yeah.
it's fair. It's like a chaotic good is like what.
We went to public school. There's no escaping that.
Yeah, we did go to public school. We didn't really have private school here though, so it's not your fault.
We did. This is the Catholic Church.
But no, it only goes up to middle school.
Well, you went to a parochial preschool for a year.
So yeah, that's
You did.
so. I did go to private school. So
Yeah, you went to a private preschool.
Did I?
that was back in the day before public preschools.
In Kansas.
Didn't we both do preschool 2 years in a row?
Yes.
Why? That's a question I've been wanting to know. Why did
That's
we do?
just why we're smarter than everyone else.
That's not the case. What? that's not true at all. What? Why did we do preschool 2 years?
Because you went when you were 3 years old, and you went when you were to 4-year-old.
That's a
Actually, it was 4 and 5.
no. But why did we?
Because they.
Well,
yeah.
They
It's
start us
turning
early.
4,
Normally, you
turning
go to
5.
preschool, what,
Turning-
around 5?
Yeah, you got like
That's
1 year in a
normal.
row.
They're just getting us more education in
Yeah,
here.
Did
a
you
lot of
wanna-
kids go to preschool for 2 or 3
I've
years.
never heard of that.
Kids going to preschool.
We have
yeah.
2 educators in front of us. I wouldn't
Yeah,
argue.
kids go to school
Okay.
preschool now, 3 years old. Yeah.
I thought it was like they don't call it preschool though. They call it like
pre-K. You know what?
Or something
what
like
the
that.
term
It's
is?
like-
It's called preschool.
You heard pre-K
Pre-K.
sometimes.
Pre-K is a-
I've heard that.
yeah, it's like
I
pre-K,
don't know if that-
preschool. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. But it was called preschool when I went. We just preschool sophomore year or something like that. Sophomore year preschool. So,
Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
so I mean, we still have plenty more to talk about. Obviously,
Let's go. Let's
So
move on.
let's just get
That would
going
be a
into
good
it.
idea.
I don't think anyone cares about preschool.
So, Dad, I saw the team's doing pretty good.
the
women's team. Let me
the
pull up.
women's cross country team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we placed second in the conference. That was a good deal for us. Mm-hmm. We kind of surprised some people and everything. So we'll see what happens from there.
From what I
as we go on.
saw,
This is cross country. Yeah.
Cross country. Let me just pull it up on my phone real quick. It's saying check out 2018 NCSA Power Rankings Top 5 NCAA D2 Best Women's Track and Field Programs for Student Athletes. See the full list here. Number 4, Truman Track and Field Cross Country.
Yeah, that was just a ranking of what combining academics and athletics together and some other factors. It's a national recruiting service, so it was kind of funny. You know, we got the award, but we couldn't advertise it. I advertised it on Twitter and Instagram, but the school couldn't advertise it because they said, well, it's a recruiting service and they're out to make money. So couldn't advertise it there, but I'll advertise it now, and it's okay. But yeah, to get that honor, that's great. 4th in the country,
Get to be top 5
in Division II.
in the country.
You know, in Division II. So that's a big honor. Yeah.
Yeah, top 5. You can get that bragging rights. Yeah, we're like one of the top 5 schools and D2 schools.
It's good to be humble.
In the words of Kendrick Lamar, sit down, be humble.
Sit down.
Be humble. Assuming you both don't listen to Kendrick Lamar.
They don't.
No, I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan.
I know, but you two both saw the new Queen movie.
Yes, we did.
Did you see that movie, Matt?
No, I did not.
Okay, so you got to be quiet for a moment.
Why are you talking about movies I haven't seen? I've seen so many.
Why don't you see movies that I have seen?
I do, just not the ones you guys.
Well, maybe we can get to some movies you've seen in here in a second.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, you guys actually both liked that movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was like, well, I bet I watched it in theaters because it was opening weekend and I had a free movie ticket. And I was like, I bet Mom and Dad would like this and Dad would like to not see a romantic comedy. And so I was just like, I'll text Mom and tell her to go see it. And then she's like, okay, let's go see it.
Yeah,
So-
she was all for it. You know, I remember watching it live on MTV back when they played music on MTV.
Yeah.
And everything. And so when they did the concert, I was just having like flashbacks. I go, my gosh. And I mean, how much it was, they did a really good job of recreating that.
Live Aid.
Live Aid. Yeah, they really did a great
They
job.
nailed it too.
with
And
that.
that's why I thought the movie was going to end. I think I told you that. And then I was like, okay, they finished Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was like, okay, they're probably going to finish it here because the movie's called Bohemian Rhapsody. Nope, they just kept going and going. And I'm
with
like,
it. Yeah.
well, this is a really good movie.
It was. Yeah.
You liked it too, Mom?
Yes, I did. I really like their music.
Have you heard of Queen before? That movie?
What's it?
Yeah, she grew up. Yeah,
I think everyone knows "We Will
She
Rock
knows the
You."
song,
I
yeah.
think everyone
Yeah.
knows.
Okay. I
We
was
used
like,
to sing it after we beat everybody in basketball.
oh, We Will Rock You or We Are the
Yes.
Champions?
Both.
we are the champion.
Both.
Oh, I mean, that was the purpose for it. What album was that on? Do you know?
No,
Or
not
it
top
might
of my
have-
head.
I remember it was like a double single, We Are the Champions, and
Well, they're both
We Will Rock
singles,
You?
but then
Yeah.
they put them together.
maybe it was like a B-side on the
Well, I think that's a good question. I can't remember. I thought there was "We Will Rock You" was a one single, and you know the other side. I thought both of them were different. And then they put kind of have "We Are the Champions" is the other one. And they kind of put them together. But maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but it was a single together. We can research it after the show, or just let someone in the comments just go after us for it.
There we go.
That's the best way to do it. But Mom, did you have a favorite movie this year?
I can't think right now.
We could tell at the time we saw Infinity War.
Well, I did. Infinity War.
you
I
like-
saw that.
You like Infinity War?
A Quiet Place was the
That
best
was
movie
good.
of this whole year.
With Jim and
Yes, with John Krasinski. Yes,
Jim Halpert.
Yes,
That's
with
Jim Halpert.
With Jim. Yes,
I
I won't spoil anything.
Well, so I have a good story to tell because Mom and Dad, I think last Christmas, around that time when I came up to visit, we watched The Shack. And I knew Octavia Spencer was in it. I'm like, okay, and I've heard some good things about the movie. Let's watch it. We watch it, and it's about this little girl who gets murdered. I'm like, well, this is sad. This is really sad. I'm like, this is really sad to watch.
Does it look like a happy movie?
No, I just thought, I didn't think about a child getting murdered.
That's why you should only watch Hallmark movies.
I know, just to fall in love with.
I thought the
Nick.
Shack's a really well done.
I
movie.
really like The Shack, too.
I mean, it's not a bad movie, but it was really sad. Anyways, so I decided, I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do to kind of like get them to get sad at a movie I wanted to watch. And so I was like, let's watch Thor Ragnarok so they get really into like these characters and stuff like that. And we watch Infinity War, and spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, a lot of people die at the end of Infinity War. And so I was just like, so how'd you like it, Mom and Dad? I was like, I liked it until the end. Everyone died.
Well,
You weren't sad when Loki died at the beginning? Like,
Yeah, I kind of felt for him a little bit.
I don't think he's
I don't
dead.
think he's dead either.
Yeah.
He always comes back.
He always does. He's
He
a
always
snake.
comes back.
Him and Doctor Strange. I don't believe.
But it kind of gives it away that these people are going to come back.
Did you know though that Spider-Man, the guy who played Spider-Man, he actually improv that entire scene
Yeah.
when he was fading away. That was impressive.
Mr. Stark,
did he?
I don't feel
Yeah,
so
he
good.
improv the whole thing.
That's pretty cool.
I don't feel so good.
He improv that whole thing. He did good.
The reason why he lasted longer than everyone else because he used his spider sense to know that was coming, and then
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, it was like weird because the guys who directed Infinity War directed Civil War, and they got a spider sense right there. But in the actual Spider-Man movie, they didn't really like mention any of it at all.
That was the only good part of Civil War was when he came in. It was that movie. Ugh.
It's like, I don't know if you've ever been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking. Yeah, that'd be like me in a fight. That's why I don't get into fights. I don't think you've ever been in a fight before. Because I always, I could see myself either being like Spider-Man or Peter Quill. It's like, let her go, Grimace.
Yeah.
But
So you haven't seen A Quiet Place?
no,
then?
I haven't.
No, it's so good. Are you not a horror fan? Are you really?
No, but I've heard good things about it.
The ending is phenomenal. It's one of my all times now.
Thanks, Kanye. Very cool.
All time.
Thanks. But anyway, so Matt, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
I've been good, working pretty dang hard.
Well, that's good.
You know, retail life during holidays is a little insane.
I know it's kind of I don't know. You wonder why we don't have another plague. It's like
Yeah.
we need another plague.
Or Thanos can do his thing.
Maybe Thanos can do his thing, but be more selective on who he picks.
Just a little.
'Cause I think the problem with Thanos is he just like wanted it to be random, just so it's fair. I don't think that should. We should get where like natural selection isn't doing its job correctly. Just have them.
I don't know where you're going with that.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
But speaking of the Avengers, do we have any predictions for Avengers Endgame?
Isn't Captain Marvel, which they made into a woman? Isn't
No, Captain Marvel's
supposed-
always been a woman.
Really?
Yeah, Carol Danvers.
Okay.
So, and well, she's supposedly going to be like the savior, but I think it's going to be Ant-Man. But
Ant-Man. God, I can't. Ant-Man.
he's going to get into Thanos'
How do
ear.
people like Ant-Man?
It's Paul Rudd. He's funny.
Paul Rudd.
I
He's
make
kinda-
myself small. I make myself big. I don't. Oh yeah, Paul Rudd. That does not make a hero. The actor, really.
I think he plays his character pretty well.
Yeah, he does a really good job.
It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Does anyone have any
I
orange
guess they have to get a
slices?
good actor for a stupid
like,
hero.
Let's admit, it, Iron Man, he's kind of getting old.
No,
the character's
no.
getting
I love Iron
I
Man.
like Iron Man. I don't know. It's just
Have
like
you seen any of the Ant-Man movies? Or I mean, you saw him in
I
Civil
saw the
War.
first one and I hated it, so I did not continue.
The solo movies are bad, but he was like really good in Civil War. So that's why I'm excited for him in Endgame, where like I think he's actually going to have a good job.
I like Scarlet Witch, so
Oh, Elizabeth Olsen's amazing. Mm-hmm. And they're like slowly getting rid of her accent in the movies.
have you noticed that?
Yeah, and they're just like, and I guess their movie excuse is that she's in hiding. So
No.
that's and then in real life they're just like, that was a choice by Joss Whedon, and we didn't want to do it anymore. So we just decided to get rid of it.
All right.
So that's it. But do you have a favorite Marvel movie, Mom and Dad? I've showed you most of them.
yeah, I've seen both. No, I don't think. I don't know. I'd have to think.
The
I'd have
good
to think
ones.
on that for a while. I'm not really sure it's a favorite moment.
Mom like Thor, right? Yeah, she was Chris Hemsworth.
Of course you would. Yes, you like Thor. Yeah.
It's like it's
Okay.
muscles are tiny metal fibers.
But yes, let Thanos do his thing. Let's build the wall. Everything will be perfect.
Let's build that wall. Everyone donate now. Just have a live fundraising event on C-SPAN. All right,
So
and today we will have a new fundraiser for the wall in Mexico.
Not going there. Staying away from that.
Oh, you can talk as much as you want.
Well, no, it's not. I don't know. Anyway,
Sponsors don't care. You
I
can
just
talk
don't
about-
see how a wall is going to stop anything.
Yeah, that's one thing. And that,
Sure, it's a problem, but really a wall?
well, yeah, that and you can't actually get the wall you want because there's just like rivers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
private property.
well, the private property. It's the eminent domain is going to be the big thing because you'd have to buy out so much land, and that's got to go through a court, and so that by the time you acquired all the land and built the wall, even if Trump would get elected for a second term, it's not going to be done. So yeah. So so that there's a lot of
There's
problems
no
involved.
way.
There's a lot of problems involved.
It's just like and it's
Three
just,
government shutdowns already in 1 year. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's more like more what I'm thinking is just like when I think of just like money, what can we spend money towards? And it's like, like when you're in like the city budget, it's like, oh, we would really like to have our streets not have
The big
500
one is
potholes.
the Flint water problem.
Yeah, it's like,
we could just fix Flint's
that
water, but
yeah, that's a more useful the money and like, and they say we can't do healthcare, but we can apparently make a wall.
I think we need to fund the sciences more so we can go to space and figure out a different planet to live on. So
I don't think that's going to
I'll
happen.
be the first.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any planets that are,
They're gonna find one.
I mean,
it's
they're
out there.
No, they're out there. It's just like they're like super far away, and we don't have like the technology to travel that
They're
far.
gonna figure it out.
yeah, we don't have a transporter yet.
I think it's the more the transportation of getting there is the more of the problem than anything.
Just takes one scientific breakthrough. That's all it takes.
Oh, it's going to be those transgender Navy SEAls
Most likely.
that do it.
For those who've seen that SNL skit.
We just watched it because Mom loves It's a Wonderful Life, so and everything. But Dad, I introduced you to John Mulaney yesterday. Did you watch his stand up?
No.
John Mulaney, he's incredibly funny.
He's kind of funny. A little rough language, but I think you could do it without the language if you wanted to. But yeah, he's really funny.
I'm JJ Bittenbinder.
Yeah.
Street smarts.
Yep.
But yeah, we can always just talk politics as much as we want on the show.
Yeah, my favorite topic.
Yay.
Let's continue.
Let's continue.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I think last year when we did this episode, everyone loved Grandma McReynolds. So that's who they love the most. They liked your parents too, Dad, obviously. But they were just like, wait a minute, a 98-year-old woman who's chasing pigs and reshingling her roof? Let's continue.
I think she was only like 80, 90 when she was on the roof. When I asked her to come down from the roof, yeah.
So
yeah.
Do you have any good stories of Grandma, great-grandma?
Beulah?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think she liked your dad very much.
In the beginning.
Well, yeah, I thought she liked you.
Wait a second. You want to continue on
Well,
that?
that's
or-
what you told me.
Well, I don't think when we first started dating, I don't think she with that too much. But what happened was, I think once we got married, I think I was, one of the favorites after that time. So, yeah. So
Because that's what you told me. It's like, oh, yeah, Grandma and Dad liked me a lot, but the rest of the family didn't. And then you had to ease your way into that one.
no, I think her dad liked me from the beginning. I think
That's good.
For some, I don't-
Usually that doesn't happen.
But I said, well, we just talked. It seemed like it was pretty good. But Grandma had to warm up. But once we got married, I thought I was, I was like one of the favorites. I think
That's all that matters, yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah,
I mean,
Grandma went to college, so it was pretty cool back then. So she was born in 1898, and she went to Stevens College.
okay. And then Columbia.
And when you guys were little boys, we took her back to visit.
Okay.
pretty
When did
nice.
she go to college? When she was in her 20s, I'm assuming?
No, 18.
Oh, okay. So normal age for people to make a very big financial decision.
and it was unusual for women to go to college as much.
Because Stevens is all girls, right?
Yeah,
So.
still is. Yeah, Columbia, Missouri.
So.
So I think they showed us around. I think they were hoping for a donation. We won't get into that from this.
I think we already gave you money.
comedy skits. Yeah, from yesterday.
It's been a while since you housed or taught me. So,
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. But they showed around. They were real nice.
I think I remember you sent me a picture with her.
Yeah. So yeah, I think your mom did most of the stuff with her. I had both yours, and I was holding both of your guys' hands, dragging you around Columbia,
Yeah,
trying to keep you busy. So yeah.
Yeah, the good story I remember with Grandma's, she was in Eastern Star, and so she was in it for 50 years, and she was awarded a 50-year pin at her house. They had a ceremony, and you guys came, and Matt went back to her bedroom and got her makeup out. And
Oh, that was her.
And he...
Oh,
and
yeah.
he made like Indian war paint all over his face.
Oh, I made myself look glam, yeah.
Hooga chucka, hooga chucka.
Yep, he looked good.
So,
But Grandma loved it. She didn't get mad at all. She thought it was so funny.
yeah, usually if it's
Okay.
funny, you can't get mad at things.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
that's why I say,
I
like,
think it may be the children thing, but
oh, that's probably, my rule is, like, you're going to, like, say a mean
don't
comment to
think
me on
Mom
the
would
internet, be
very-
funny. At least have it be funny.
Yeah.
Just give everyone a laugh.
I don't think Mom would be too happy if I went and took her lipstick now and made it as war paint. So
As a
don't think she'd think it's too funny
27-year-old. So, yeah, let's talk
just,
about
tell everyone my age, Sam. You
I
want
mean,
to talk more about
they
me?
know me. They know I'm 25, so they have to guess that you're like in the ballpark.
Okay.
So, but anyways, yeah. So you said Matt was a crazy child, correct?
Yes, until he turned 3, then he became a perfect angel.
Is,
And you
Or
were the
so they
opposite.
thought.
Can I have 30 seconds rebuttal?
Yeah,
for
go
that?
for it.
Well, no, I don't know. Angel, I don't think would be the right word. He was a wild child about age 3 and stuff. He liked to take things out of the drawers. One famous thing that Matt liked to do is the remote. He liked to take the TV remote and throw it in the trash can. So we couldn't find it. And, I don't know where that remote went. I don't know what I did with it. And I looked, and I just happened to be throwing something in the trash can. And I saw it in the trash can. And then it was missing again about 4 days later. And it was in the trash can. So he would do things like that.
If I'm not the center of attention, no,
So
it's going to be.
he would like to go in the drawers and take all the clothes out and throw them behind him. He'd like to take, video cassette tapes back then. And he would like to string, pull them out.
pull
get
all
a,
out.
Stuff like that.
get a good pencil.
Good sensory tool, yes.
Where on your case, you were like great kid, easy to work with till age 3, and after age 3, you kind of took off on your
Climbed up the counter onto the fridge next to the knives, eating some chips.
Yeah, because there's chips up there.
Go your own way. Yeah, like Fleetwood Mac once said, "Go your own way." You just went your own way. Yeah, that
You were such a happy baby.
you were happy. Yeah, you were a happy child. Now
Was I not a happy baby?
You just were in everything.
you were just in there.
Yeah, okay.
You're cute though.
You got happy.
Well, yeah, I
You
was
just
cute.
wanted to. You just
Still
had to
cute.
explore everything and tear up everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there wasn't anything left for Sam to tear up because we had everything up really high after you.
That was an advantage for being a second child because
Yeah.
you learned from the first one.
There was nothing for you
Like
to
that.
get into.
Except we didn't realize, like, okay, pull the dishwasher door down, put your foot on that, step up on the counter, step on something, the bread box, and then climb on top of the refrigerator to get the chips. And we used to store the knives up on top of to keep it away from so you guys don't stab each other
yeah, we're not-
or stab us. Yeah. So you're sitting up there eating chips, and your mother almost had a heart attack because the knives are right next to you.
You're like a human cat.
I
Yeah.
was hungry.
Kind of a spidey senses there.
Have you told that I was your kindergarten teacher?
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go ahead and tell that story.
Well, Sam was in my kindergarten class because there was only one kindergarten teacher in our town, and so he got to have me. And Sam raised his hand and he said, "Mrs. Schwegler, I can't go. My mom can't go on the field trip because she has to work."
She did.
Yeah. And then my friend said, "Sam, what are you going to call her? Are you going to call her Mom or are you going to call her Mrs. Schwegler?" And you go, "I'm going to call her Aunt Nancy."
Solid.
And then the PE teacher said, Sam knows everybody's birthday in the whole class. Nobody knows their birthday, but Sam knows everybody's birthday in kindergarten. And Sam goes, "Yeah, because I sit in timeout and it looks right at the birthday cakes."
I had to just read them to pass the
Yeah.
time.
So devious. If we were brothers, or I guess if we were brothers in Marvel universe, I would be Thor and you'd be Loki for
Yeah,
sure.
Really?
Sneaking out.
You think so? Okay.
Oh yes.
Fans love Loki. They didn't like Thor until the
Another.
third.
The one thing that did, since you were 2 years older. Oh, was I supposed to say that?
I think I'm 2 years
Oh.
older. Is that
Am I
right?
supposed to
Yeah,
say
you're
that?
2 years
Because
old.
you were discussing
20
Anyway, it's
20
already been
months.
established. It's just calling me
one
out.
thing that he irritated that he did, and that you didn't like, is that because you were sitting there, you knew the alphabet backwards.
Yeah.
And you would do that, and that would upset
It
him.
irritated me so much
Yes, it
that
did,
I
yeah.
learned it.
Yes, you finally
and I
did.
said it right back to you after you did it in front of me.
But it took a while for him to learn it.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, yeah, you had it like,
Should have gotten in trouble
It's like
more.
that.
That was my secret. You
Got
guys,
in trouble
you sit in
more.
time out, and then they have all the things up in the room. The birthdays.
well, you were also there because you'd stay after school with mom, so it wasn't all
I
time
mean, it
out.
was after school detention, but
It
yeah,
was not after school.
I don't think I
it was-
ever had detention in school.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, well,
I've had detention.
Oh, you act like it's a good thing. You do good.
but
you do good.
you were in the room, so you just looked at everything anyway.
Yeah, that's a good alibi,
You had
yeah.
more room time than the normal kid, that's for sure, because you got to school early with mom and you left with her.
How did
so.
you get detention?
No. There's multiple times.
Yeah.
What? Like what?
Go ahead and tell us about it, Sam.
Which one in kindergarten or?
You never
I don't
got
know, Mom
detention.
was
I
so
don't think
bad
you got
about-
detention in
You never
kindergarten.
got detention. in
I don't
kindergarten.
know. There's some teacher was uptight about something. I don't know.
All eyes on you, man. Let's get
Yeah,
this
it's my
story.
show. I don't know. Like I can't remember all the.
Maybe second grade you may have got in trouble and you and I had to talk about that, which we won't go into details. But you were fine. I told you I understand because you said you're. What maybe it wasn't second grade. Maybe it's another. I don't know. You said, "Oh, the teacher. Oh, whatever. Who knows? Whatever." Okay. So we'll just go from that. We'll just go with that. Okay. But yeah,
You'll just go with
but
that.
I don't think that was detention.
I think you got detention like in 5th grade. I kind of remember
always-
Bill
I don't
picking
know.
you up or something.
I don't know.
Because
They-
you didn't do your work or something.
I don't know. Some teachers were always uptight about something.
Yeah, they wanted you to turn in your work.
That was 5th
Yeah.
grade. Or
Wasn't
6th.
it?
That's when you went to the middle school.
Oh no, they got mad at me because I.
Well, they got mad at him too.
Yeah, I think
Matt
I,
lost a pencil.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
lost a pencil and I got in trouble for it. Oh, that was detention. I did
Yeah,
have
you got detention.
because I didn't have a pencil.
Yes.
Oh no, I think I remember it was something like
You
That's
gotta-
why I have trust
It's
issues.
the right tools for the right job.
I was talking. I remember I was talking too loud at lunch. That was it. And when we were in Highland or Midway, I guess when we were in
Midway.
middle school, I got in trouble because I was talking too loud at lunch. I'm like, that's the time I'm supposed to talk.
You're probably
it's like-
talking too loud.
Yeah. Well, what's the problem with that?
It's loud.
But it's you want to get it out.
Inside voices. Isn't that a Barney thing?
No, like. No, because I remember like next year we moved to Kirksville and we were like eating lunch and it was like just talking like loud, when people were out in public talking to each other, and I'm just like, man, if those teachers from middle school,
You're just a loud boy. It's fine.
yeah, so if
I'm
those
loud
teachers
too.
from Midway were here, they'd probably have a heart
I work
attack.
retail,
How loud it
They
is.
know I'm loud.
They're just like mad. It's like I don't know. It's like at recess, like kids are being loud and yelling, having fun. It's like
Yeah.
that's when you want them
That's
to do
when you
that.
want to be loud.
And then when you get into class, you get it out there. And when you get into class, you're just like, I'm tired. Let's learn.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's gonna be in my teaching book one day. So
Teaching book.
I know. It's just like
He's writing a book.
How to Not Be an Uptight Teacher by Tim Schwegler. I was raised by 2 teachers. They were uptight most of my life. So,
Or maybe you were uptight and you didn't know how to relax.
because I was probably stressed out from school all the time from like the 500 pounds of homework they gave me.
500 pounds.
500 pounds.
There's
Let's
a-
weigh it.
I don't know. I feel like in like high school, middle school is like, or especially in elementary school, I'm like, it's not too much out of school work that
it?
you're doing because you're there for like 8 hours every day doing the same thing. Well, college, like it makes sense to have homework because like you got an hour there 3 times a week. And it's like, you don't have as much time, so the extra work helps you practice more.
Yeah, you think high school's bad, then you go to college, you live in the library for about a whole day. People are wondering why you're still in there in your pajamas. not
I
good
know.
memories.
I don't need that vision.
I think you've seen it on
I've
campus.
seen. Yeah, I don't know why people. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Because you probably have to study.
Because you have tests and theses, you have things you got to do, and you don't have time to do it. You got to shove it all in there in
And
one
what,
time.
and what I learned is teachers like to schedule their tests. You're a Tuesday, Thursday teacher, so you're out of this. So it's like they either like to schedule their tests for Friday or Monday.
At 6 a.m.
Yeah, at 6 a.m.
or at 9 p.m.
Okay, let's get this. If you have it on Friday, though, let me just bring up this case. If you have it on Friday, then you don't have to worry about studying over the weekend. If you have
Sure.
it on Monday, now you've got to study over the
Yeah,
weekend.
I know. And
So, I mean, what?
The
you
better
could
one-
have door number 1, or you could have door number 2.
I will
Which one
take
do
door
you-
number 2
Yeah.
where I have more time to study.
Okay, that is an
Oh,
option.
Friday's
and
a
that's
good
for
thing
some
too
people.
because you don't have to do it on the weekend. But at the same time, every teacher's giving a test on that Friday.
It could be.
So,
it could be a
it's like-
possibility.
They meet together and decide
Yeah,
what
that's
day.
They do.
Yeah, I swear
They
they
do a
do.
little chance.
No,
they
we
got their
don't. We don't do
cauldrons.
it. No, we don't do it on purpose. But here's the problem. The school I teach at, just Truman State University. Here's the problem with the freshmen, and with freshmen, they come in. They have freshman week. They have a certain name for it here. It's not freshman
They
week.
try to get them to stay.
So,
Please don't
so you
leave.
go that week, and that week's pretty much fun and games and run around. It's not much hard. It's not very hard. Freshman week's not very hard at all. So then you got the first week of classes, first 2 weeks of classes. First week you're just basically going over syllabus and stuff like that, right? Chime in if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. You just
For
kinda-
freshman year,
for
yes.
freshman, yeah. But any class, you're just kind of doing the syllabus the first day and
First day.
Yeah,
things
most
that.
classes.
I mean,
say
I
that.
don't teach any material the 1st day because I give a pretest. Okay, so the first week's pretty, and then you kind of get through the second week, and then you go home for a lot of freshmen go home for Labor Day. It's pretty easy. Okay, so about 2 weeks after Labor Day at Truman, we hammer you. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Because
comes down.
there's going to be 3 or 4 tests or a couple papers due. So I mean, and I know
Yeah,
this is
4
coming.
tests, 3
And I
papers.
tell freshmen that, and they don't like they give me like, what do you know?
we didn't do this in high school.
Yeah, like, and
What
they-
is
and they
typing a
hammer you,
paper?
You know what I'm saying? So I go, and they go, wow, I got 3 tests and a paper due. I go, well, welcome to Truman State. Told you it was going to happen, and stuff like that. I mean, that's all part of it. And sometimes when you're an instructor, like in my case, I teach like a nutrition class. I give my midterm 2 weeks after midterm because I don't want to give it the same time everybody else is giving midterm. So some of us do
make that account in our heads. You know what I'm saying? So ours is almost my midterm is almost my 2/3.
Oh, okay.
And so like that, so to get away from that, you know, so they know that. And then another thing you talk about that, like as your semester goes on in college, what does it become more difficult? Did you think it became more difficult?
Sophomore year, I had a professor say, "All right, we have a test on Friday. First day of class.
Oh,
syllabus.
well, okay. But
test on Friday." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
But I mean,
here we go."
On a whole, do you consider that in college, as the semester goes on, the semester gets harder with work and stuff?
I think it definitely can.
On a
It
general
depends
program.
on, because you sign up for your own classes and you can decide to do summer classes instead of.
No,
doing
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm
What
saying,
are you saying?
you have a semester. It says fall semester.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
As the semester goes on.
Is it harder? As
Yeah,
the semester goes
definitely.
on? Okay. How about you? What,
I mean,
with your major?
I did music, so like it's just projects and
Well, it's not tests, but still,
Yeah.
that's the same thing.
yeah, it's like the more projects you have, and then you have tests on top of that.
Well, if you procrastinate at all, it all
It's not-
comes together at one time.
And it's not the like skill level of it; it's the work you have to put into it,
Right.
Necessarily. So yeah, that
There's
still
time.
have some
There's time
skills
you
involved.
just
So
get
it.
more.
it's more an idea. Okay. So
Time
like,
management is something very difficult.
One
for them
one
to
thing
learn.
I do with my nutrition class, like the first third of the first half of the course, we're almost. Well, you took my class, so you
I
would know.
did.
We're in there the whole almost like 80 minutes. It's a Tuesday, Thursday class, so I'm in there the whole 80 minutes. When we get to November, my classes are only about an hour long because I know they've got other academic things. So I didn't do that intentionally. So like that. So, you try to help them out with that. But
And
I
you do
think
brag.
you do, but-
you do brag about having the easiest class at Truman, right?
It's not the easiest class at Truman.
Well, there's a class called Health and Fitness 195, and I brag in that class. I don't teach that much anymore.
Okay.
Have you taken Hollywood versus Broadway? That is the easiest class.
I took film
You
101.
went to a different
Was that- was
college.
that
It was a
easy?
It was a 3,000 level class.
Okay, so it would be 300 at Truman. So was that easy?
The teacher said like, no, this isn't. It's just like an easy A. I got like a B in the class. I had to write a big
It's
paper
an
on.
easy A, but you gotta be.
Well, no,
That happens.
I mean, like, no, I knew how like because it was like an overview. Oh, it was film appreciation. That's what it was called.
Okay.
And so it was like an overview of like the film industry, and then there's like the recording and filming. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. I can just guess on that and get it right. And then I had to write a big paper on Annie Hall, and he was like, "You didn't use your own ideas; you used someone else's." I'm like, "Yeah, isn't that what college is about?" Using someone else's. I don't know. I passed the class, so I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, there's like, but sometimes a class. Well, didn't you take it? I took them too. Philosophy professors, Easy A. Smiths. Remember Easy A. Smiths?
Yep.
Was it Easy A?
I got an A.
Okay, you got an A, but was it easy? I got an A too. But
I
it
had
wasn't.
pretty handwriting, so that helped.
Okay, I won't. Oh, here we go.
Mom does have
Yes.
pretty handwriting.
Yeah, she does. And Dad has the same handwriting as Santa Claus, which is chicken scratch.
And your handwriting?
And mine's okay.
Well, I tell you what. Let's go to the
The
expert.
boys have good handwriting.
No,
I have excellent handwriting.
Yeah.
Do not.
Sam's is probably a little bit better than yours, but yours is pretty
No,
good.
it is not. When was the last time you saw my
Well,
handwriting?
we'll have a competition before we go to bed tonight.
Okay.
Sounds great.
when the clock
I have
strikes
good
midnight.
handwriting.
Dad
we'll
gets
have a
fourth
contest.
place.
And that
I'm
way,
going to sleep.
that way we can kill the old Santa Claus.
Mine
Dad,
just
you got a
has
new
Slide
job.
off, yeah.
Mine just has a uniqueness to it.
The nice thing
It's
is
not
you can still
basic.
do your teaching job because, like, your one day a year working is in Christmas.
I don't know how that works.
So
but
yeah, so
I'm not
then-
going to work. Well, I got
So you can still do.
I got several years before I retire. Maybe I could pick up that gig then. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know, and and I think me and Matt have to have a discussion someday about what we're going to do with you two when you're retired, and we have to take care of you.
You don't think we worry about that too?
Like, oh no, I've thought about it. I'm like, well, let's make sure they're not bored because we don't want them to be calling us all the time.
Just make sure I have the Hallmark channel.
Yeah.
I'll make sure they're taken care of.
Okay. We just got to figure out what to do.
Okay.
Because you said you're going to retire, and then a couple years later, Mom's going to retire.
Probably about 3 years later.
So you're just going to be the old cranky neighbor man who get
Oh.
off my lawn.
I
I think they're going to move in with you in Tennessee.
Nope. 10 minutes away. We're going to do what Steve and Angie done with Aunt Judy, just like a 10-minute drive.
No, they ain't living
Close-
in a weird apartment like that. It's
Close,
not happening.
close enough to where if something happens, so I can go to them, but far enough away where they're not going to walk over or come in unannounced. Make it like an Everybody Loves Raymond situation.
Okay.
I like that. I like that idea. I think we should still, move them in with you.
No.
Yeah.
Barrett, you haven't even seen my apartment.
I'm not moving in it.
Oh, I'll buy you a house.
You want to buy me a house?
Yeah, but they're going to be living in it with you.
Wait. You're going to buy us a house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Never mind. We'll just get that.
If you don't know how much houses cost in Nashville. It's a lot different in Kansas City.
It's an expensive town. Nashville
Who
is
said you were
an expensive
living in
town.
Nashville?
I think that's where he's living.
We're going by the beach side because I got to come over and visit sometime.
Side. Okay.
where I live still.
Let's move on. Let's move on to.
Did you not know I
lived?
lived
You think
in
about
Nashville?
all of your past memories within the ocean as you gaze upon it in the dawn.
I really don't like the ocean.
Yeah, you really don't.
You don't have to be in it. You just gotta look at it.
Hurricane. Well, I mean, I like the. I mean, I visit.
We'll move you
to
out if
visit.
there's a hurricane.
I don't think it's like a cool. I don't think I have to live by the ocean.
We can. Okay.
See, I always wondered every time
What,
you come down
mountains,
to
then?
you drive down to
like
Tennessee
mountains. Okay,
to
we'll do
see
mountains.
me, you stop, you have to go through Illinois, and I'm just like, well, they might just think well, we're already in Illinois. Let's go to Abraham Lincoln's house for the 50th time and then just see it. And I just imagine that there's some tour guide.
Usually, the number of times I've seen it, I've taken different people there,
Yeah, I know.
stuff.
We've all been in it.
and a lot of them have been very thankful that I've taken them there.
I could have lived without it.
You went once.
No, we've been twice.
Oh, you've been twice. You're
Sarah, it's
right.
called history.
I'm sorry.
God.
Well, no, it's really funny because Aunt Judy was like, yeah, I know, I've been there too.
Well, one of the times with you were young, we went. That's when the first time you went to the house with Aunt Judy. With that, so she enjoyed that trip.
So at this point, do you just tell the tour guides when they're wrong?
Obviously, I could be a tour guide for that home. I really could.
I know.
Yeah, I could be.
Probably
very
been there more
easily
time.
and stuff.
You probably.
I do bring up some topics, kind of see if they get the same story.
That's we're going to move to Springfield. And that's what we're
No,
going
I'm
to do
not
in our
living-
retirement.
No, it's flat. I'm not living in Springfield. Trust me, that's not going to happen.
So it's just it's like
we'll go to George Washington or Thomas
But
Jefferson's
I
home.
did we went to the Carter House in Franklin. Enjoyed that. That was an interesting tour.
from Tennessee.
Yeah, we went the last time we were down to visit you.
No, wait, it wasn't.
the day before.
It couldn't have been Carter. You mean Jackson?
No, the Carter House. The Carter House is in Franklin. It's where a World War II battle.
Oh,
World
okay.
War II battle. Excuse me, Civil War battle was. Wow. Okay, it's Christmas Eve. Woo. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Yeah, they had three. We went to visit three houses that all connected in the same tour.
Okay.
About that Battle of Franklin.
Oh, okay. Battle of
Yeah.
Frank-
Yeah.
'Cause there's the Battle of Nashville too, and
Yeah.
you're in the South.
Are you viewers into this?
Oh, there. Yeah, this is riveting.
Okay.
They
Well.
don't care. Yeah, they listen to whatever.
Okay. Well, let's get some riveting stuff. We only got
So,
how many? We
anyways,
gotta
yeah,
finish up. Like
How many
10 minutes
loyalists
left,
do you have?
or something like that. Yeah.
We have 15 minutes to go.
Okay. All right.
So what do you? So since Dad, you've been listening to the show this summer. Any mistakes I have to correct about you?
Yeah, so every once in a while you go off on some tangents that aren't factually correct.
Okay. Do you have any?
No, I'm not going there now. But
No,
but
this is the
I
moment.
can't think of them right off the top of my head. I try to forget.
Because yesterday was Festivus, so we just have to air our grievances. So, Matt,
You mean
Matt-
your nose ring?
yeah, what's? I don't know why you're something. I was surprised they didn't say anything about
I didn't get
it.
a birthday present, but you got a nose ring.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
I said you happy birthday.
I don't
It was
remember.
literally on your birthday when I got it too.
It's really weird.
So why were
How you
you?
had the money to buy a nose ring, but not me a gift.
Yeah, it's a small world.
Well, that happens that way sometimes.
So, but yeah, I was.
But what prompted you to get it?
I just wanted one.
Okay, yeah, no, but what? Yeah, go on.
I was just one day I was like, I want to get a nose ring. Then I found a place to get it pierced, and I got paid on that Friday, and I went. They stuck a hole in my nose, and it tickled.
That's how they do it.
Because the little needle thing was cold, and so how it happened.
Well,
What image are you going for?
okay. I'd like to talk about
The only ones I know.
I'd like to
people-
talk. I would like to talk about some of the things you said. I can't think of anything, but in the future, when I listen, I'll have a pad and pencil. How about that? And I'll write
Okay,
it down.
that works.
So future podcasts, we can discuss it. How's that?
Anything you're mad about me for being here right now?
Not that I can think of. No.
Mom, you're mad at me, aren't you, about something?
Nope.
You both are always mad at me about something. I can just,
I don't think so. I think we've blown that. You're blowing that myth way out of proportion. I don't think there's been anything we're mad about you about.
they're just
Since you
keeping it.
got
Like,
here.
oh no, we're not mad at you.
You're
for
just
something.
naturally irritating. They've gotten used to it.
We just snatch. I stopped recording. I'm like, I can't believe what you've been doing.
No, I don't think. No, I don't know. No, sorry.
Don't like my. You don't like my.
You got to get over that. That's
my
your,
impressions.
That's
of,
that's your problem. Impressions of what?
You didn't like my
I am
impression of
mad.
mom on her phone, which I can't show because it's just a facial thing. But then there's dad talking on the phone, and you're yelling into the phone, Sam, Sam, what are you doing? I'm
We
like,
can't. Somehow our connections are not good when we talk on the phone.
it's because you have an Android.
Don't think
My
so.
connections are just fine with
You also have an
Android.
Android. And
Yeah, well,
Androids to Androids.
We don't have problems. So
Adam and Eve. So
it's Apple phones. I'm not a big fan.
I'm not either.
you all have iPads.
They're
though.
also restrictive.
I do have an iPad.
You have to download an app to delete a cache on an app. Another app is redonk.
No, you don't. You have to just like go
No,
in. And,
you do. You
No,
can't
you
just go and
don't.
delete
You
a
like-
cache.
Yeah,
on
you
the
can.
app.
I do it
Is
all the
that an
time.
update now?
Probably.
Okay.
I do it. I just
Been used to.
Okay.
I do it, but yeah, you have iPads, and so. Matt, do you still have that iPad 2 that we got like
I
for
do,
Christmas?
but I don't use it as much anymore.
Yeah, I need to upgrade mine.
What do you got?
The iPad 2, the one you got me for Christmas in 2013.
Okay.
So that's from it's getting kind of old. So I think we got to find some parent who wants to buy their kid a cheap iPad.
Mom's got a what?
You got-
'Cause you helped me buy it a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was like a Mini 2 or Mini 3 because I remember the only difference was like the thumbprint scanner and
was it?
$100.
Okay.
So
I don't have an idea. School got me the one, which is it's the school's technically. So,
you got to put a virus on it. You just go crazy with it.
there's viruses on Apple, and
Yeah. But you got
Yeah,
to
so-
intentionally put it on there.
no, there's some people at school that get them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, believe it or
Do they
not.
monitor what you're doing on your school iPad?
I guess they could.
Everyone has an FBI boyfriend. We all know this.
Oh, yeah. I got a little cover on my computer so you can select the webcam.
I don't. I want them to see me.
You want to put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
The Britney Spears song, Circus.
All eyes on me.
So, but no, the reason I have it, it's not because the FBI, because I don't do anything illegal.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
We all believe that.
yeah. Mainly because hackers can get into your computer or see what you're doing. That's the main reason I do it, because just because you think, oh, I'm not that important, hackers won't bother me. I'm like, well, they can still get into your financial information and
Yeah, they can.
then try to.
And I got a piece of Scotch tape over mine.
Yeah.
Just to that.
Just for hackers. Like, when you say hackers, it makes more sense. But if you say, oh,
Yeah.
the FBI is
You
watching
could
me.
just
Yeah.
wear a mask every time you do stuff on the computer.
The ski mask. Mom,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you have a ski mask in the basement. Or we did, in like one of the drawers.
What?
Yeah, it was like a ski mask.
When
Like,
you were little boys, you wore them to play
but,
in
like,
the snow.
the black and like the holes on them. Like,
Yeah, it was yours.
You guys played? Yeah,
It
because
was
it kept
yours
your
when we
face
went out in
cold.
the snow.
people would
Yeah.
see that and be like, why do you own this? Because it's like the stereotypical one robbers wear. And like, they don't think they even sell them.
Because it kept your face warm. You enjoyed that when
I-
you made snowmen.
You remember, Matt? You had one too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I remember.
Get your money in the bag.
Money in the bag.
Yeah, money in the bag.
Money bag.
Money bag. Money baggins.
That's my song.
Anyways. Yeah, so the dog's doing okay, I guess.
Yes, Kit is doing great. She's living her best life.
How old is Kit now?
Kit is probably about 8 years old now. She's getting old.
Do big dogs live longer or small dogs live longer? I don't know.
And dogs just live.
They just
a
live.
certain
They live the same
length.
amount.
How old do you live to be?
certain
Is
breeds
it
have
really
certain-
like 7 years? A year for a dog is like 7 years a year.
Yeah.
That's
Is that pretty-
15 years.
A year to a dog?
They can live about 15 years old. Is that what you're
okay.
asking? Lifespan?
Well, that'd be 7.
It depends on the breed as well. The breeds have certain genetic problems. They
Yeah.
have higher risk to dying of this or that.
Yeah.
How's Rocket?
Oh, Rocket's doing great too.
You want to tell people
She's
what
a lot more
Rocket is?
talkative. Rocket is a pearl cockatiel, and she is very attached to me and me alone. Cockatiels are the only birds that can hiss, so she hisses at people
Sounds
who
like-
do not like me,
Sounds like you.
or sorry, the hisses at people who are not me. Yes,
I heard something about like
It goes-
a bird's
That's what it
morning
sounds like.
bird's morning poop or something like that.
huh?
Is that still a thing?
What?
So like in the morning when like with birds, like when they wake up, like they have to poop like a big old poop.
They just do it anytime. they want.
No, she just does it all the time, like a animal.
Mr. Quigley.
This is a great topic.
It's what the people pay to
The
listen to.
people pay to listen to that. All
It's
right.
called a podcast, so
You
people
guys are
don't pay
great.
for
Thank
anything.
you.
Thing unless you're Bill O'Reilly, he has his own paid podcast subscription, so like you have to pay to listen to
Oh,
his.
okay.
Ever since he got kicked off Fox News.
Okay, so Sam, I gotta know what kind of music are you listening to right now?
Well, okay, so you're asking my question.
Yeah,
I've been
but you're not gonna ask it, so I thought
I
I'd ask
listen
it.
to the new Mumford & Sons album a lot.
Oh, really?
Delta, I like it. A lot of people, it's not critically popular by the critics, but I like it a lot. The new 1975 album's really good.
I've heard that's good.
Yeah, a brief inquiry into online relationships. So the two albums I've had on repeat. Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. That one's been in my head.
God. You would.
One taught me what love.
You're such a Bieber kid. That's what you are.
I know we're just growing up on NSYNC and Kool-Aid.
And sinking Kool-Aid.
So what kind of music you listen to, Matt?
Oh, it's probably rap music. Right now, what am I listening to?
Like
Offset,
Tekashi
Cardi
6ix9ine.
B, all that stuff. Stuff you guys would not like, so we're not going to listen to it.
I mean, I've listened to Cardi B and Offset. He's part of Migos.
Yes.
It's on
He's
the
also
track.
featured in a lot of other different songs, yeah.
But hey, hey. Sorry, it's the SoundCloud rappers formula. Do you think Migos like go to the bathroom together?
No, definitely. Absolutely.
I get that I'm surprised they're all going solo. That's the.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I didn't
That's
know
what rappers do. They all collaborate with everyone. It's great.
I didn't know they could do that.
They are allowed.
Okay, well, you live and you lose, and you
You
gotta
live and you learn.
you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Who is that?
Kenny Rogers.
There you go. I got you.
Hold them and love them.
So remember that yesterday. I'm like, that's not Willie Nelson.
No, yeah, I know. I told you Kenny Rogers the other day. So, all right, Nance, what music you listen to?
I'm really into Francesca Battistelli and Lauren Daigle.
Yeah, we saw her at Lauren Daigle. Yeah, what I've been hearing about, but yeah, we saw Francesca in the Opry.
Yeah.
That was a fun show.
It was
She's good.
It was a good show.
Yeah,
She's
Yeah,
good.
Kind of a singer is Francesca.
she's Christian.
She's Italian.
She's the kind of singer mom.
I would
is.
never
Italian
have
background.
guessed.
Italian background.
She's Italian.
Italian background. Battistelli, yeah.
Francesca.
She walks on stage
Yeah,
like,
what the fuck,
"Hey,
man?
hey, what are you doing?
Baba boopy.
Bippity boopity."
Yeah. You actually, I thought, okay, I'm not sure you're going to like going to Grand Ole Opry, but they had a variety of.
Yeah, because it's just like they just do like two songs and then they
Yeah,
leave.
they had bluegrass.
It's like we don't like one person, like maybe next
Was it a
person.
bluegrass group from Great Britain?
Yeah,
They were really good.
yeah.
I was like shocked. I thought, okay, this is not going to be good, and it was really good. So,
oh yeah.
yeah. So okay.
So, do you have any embarrassing stories you want to tell me, or Matt especially, specifically Matt?
I can't think of anything.
Embarrassing
Can you think
stories
of anything?
Embarrassing
just
story?
in general.
Or just any stories in general you think the audience should know?
Oh, I have something. So I was at work, right. I went and got my Panera, as I do, and I'm looking at my phone while I'm eating my salad, and it pops up and it says, "Do not eat romaine." And as I'm reading that, I am eating the romaine. So I was freaking out all day that I was going to get E. coli. It was great.
That's good. That sounds like
It's a fun story.
I wouldn't have that problem. See, what I did, I was at Chipotle and there's a big sign of like urgent or something like that on the door, and then I'm like, oh geez, what's going on? Please don't be closed. Please don't be closed. And it's just like, sorry, but we are out of. We do not have romaine lettuce. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Which you don't need it anyway, so it's not a problem.
I love
like,
romaine.
I told the people at the counter, I'm like, you really scared me at the door. That's something serious happening. Found out it was just lettuce. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I think I got the romaine poisoning.
You think you got
Yeah.
it?
E. coli.
Well, she had I don't know, but she had a little lettuce, and then I don't know if she just happened to get a.
Well, I ate lettuce every day that week for lunch.
You would know if you got E. coli.
I was sick all weekend.
It wasn't. You didn't feel good. Well, it was Friday. You felt bad. You went to bed early, and then Saturday you feel good. But you kind of started bouncing out of it Sunday. So.
Oh, everyone's
But
getting
then I
sick.
couldn't eat lettuce the next week at all.
All my cash wraps smell
it's like-
so lemony. The customers come up and they're like, your cash wrap smells so good. I'm like, yeah, because we disinfect everything every hour.
Because
Everyone getting sick right now. Everyone stay home.
Don't do anything. Start a band. Move to Philly.
lock your doors for Christmas and don't come out for a couple of days. Yeah.
Someone's on the roof. If it's Santa, you murder Santa, become Santa. Put on his clothes.
The coat. You got to
Put on his coat.
You gotta
No, he
put
put
on
on
the
his pants too.
He didn't murder Santa. Santa did it himself.
Well, he was gonna murder Santa.
No, he wasn't.
If someone's on the roof, you're gonna murder them.
Well, he didn't have a gun or
Santa
anything.
slipped and fell. What are we talking
Yeah.
about murder for?
No, because to become Santa, you have to murder the old Santa,
No, you don't.
or you have to kill the old Santa.
The old Santa just.
But you don't know that at the time.
And in a Santa Claus 3, Bernard is not there, but Curtis became the head elf. So
Because that's because Bernard got a series on CBS.
That was in the real world.
Which I think got dropped. That's why Bernard was not there. But I think the series got dropped, if I remember right. So
Curtis killed Bernard, and that's why Santa Claus 3 was a mess.
And this conspiracy theory is
you should be on
extensive.
Sci-Fi with the Santa.
And that's why he thinks Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
And we're wrapping it all together at the end of the episode.
There we go.
But anyways, so we're nearing the end finally. And so your yearly punishment from me is over. But do you have any last words anyone wants to say?
Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Come to the Truman Track meets.
Actually, we have 2 this year. That'd be fine. I won't get to talk to you. I'm too busy running them off.
Get that tour schedule.
Yeah,
you get that. You get that out of your nose. You look like Ellen Page. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Well, thank you for your opinion. No one needed.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you in jail.
In jail.
And if you can check out more shows like this one at schwegmedia.com, and you can also check out more of what I'm doing at samschweglermusic.com. And in the meantime, like always, stay awesome.
Hey, I'm Sam's dad, and I've been on 2 Christmas specials, and my name has been brought up in vain several times in many of his podcasts over the years. And so, I just wanted to get on and kind of talk a little bit about Sam and, and things that he says on the podcast, which really are really exaggerated. Exaggeration may not be even the proper word. His complaints about Kansas, growing up in that for his first 12 years, and then after that, growing up in Missouri for 10 years, and so on. So he has a tendency to exaggerate things. He also has exaggerated things about his mother and me that he says and everything. So, I think the podcasts are great, except for those little comments that he makes here and there and everything. But, Sam was a second child. He felt like he was, his brother got everything. His brother got the presents. He got the empty box. That went on quite a bit in his lectures to us about how bad of a parents we were. So I just want to bring that up. But I really like the podcast, except for those little tidbits of information that he throws out that are very inaccurate. And, that's about all I have to say right now. But, hey, I hope you all keep listening to the podcast. I think they're great. And if you hear anything about Sam's mom or dad, just admit that it's totally false. Thank you very much. Bye.
Welcome to this episode of the Schwegcast. It is your host, Schweezy, Sam, the King. And today on the show, we're just doing one record through. As is tradition, the Christmas episode. The famous George Costanza once said that divorce is always hard, especially on the kids. But I'm also the result of my parents having stayed together. So you never know. And so here's Mom and Dad. Say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So back for round 3. Matt's in the background. He's just going to probably chime in when we talk about him. And he's like, I'm not going to do it, but we'll see what happens. He'll probably come in soon. He's asleep right now, and yeah, he has a smile on his face, trying not to laugh. So we want to start. We have a couple discussion topics because you're probably tired of listening to argue with your family, so we can just listen to mine argue for a little bit, right?
You talk about your audience?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can argue for a little bit. We were talking about, the escape rooms? And Mom, you did an escape room, right? Yes. I've never done one.
Yes.
I think you joked around that we should do an escape room. And I'm like, that Matt and Dad will just fight in 10 minutes into it.
Well, I'm kind of a detective, so I probably could help.
Yeah, so you'd be alone. I'm just like, I'm done.
Matt and I would get us out.
Now, you two would argue the whole time.
No, we wouldn't. Matt and I would get us out. We'd get out. He agrees.
Okay, so anyways, yeah. But that's how I thought of it. But I don't think I'd probably enjoy doing it as much as most people would. But anyways, Hallmark has been making how many new movies this year?
I think 40.
So they made 40 new. Any groundbreaking cinematography gone on in any of these Hallmark movies this year? We need our yearly update.
Well, they were very, very good this year.
What were they all about?
Well, there's so many different plots.
I know.
It's hard to describe them
the
all.
plot points, yeah. I think that's the big point we're trying to look at right now. So, what was the plot of your favorite movie of this year?
Well, my favorite one's going to be this evening, The One Calls the Heart Christmas, because that's probably will be my favorite. So I can't really tell you about what that's going to be about yet.
So yeah, you haven't seen the movie. That's the thing.
Right.
So, and Dad, you've seen all of them too, right?
I've seen a large majority of them. Let's put it that way.
Which one was your favorite? So this is the one where the woman leaves the big city husband for a small town guy with a dog and wears sweaters. Kind of looks like
or
Ryan
the
Reynolds.
woman leaves small town life to go to the big city. Vice versa, either one. Yes.
Now, Mom, here's the question I have. Your son actually lives in a big city. And this time of year is always fearful for us because we're worried that women are going to leave us for these small town guys who wear sweaters. How does that feel that you encourage these movies that go against your own son?
Well, I think like when you come home and wear a sweater here in the small town of Kirksville, then the woman of your dreams will come and find you.
What kind of woman do you think here would like me? Like, I walk around Hy-Vee and I wear like weird jackets and like my hair looks normal or good.
I don't know.
Exactly, yeah. So I think, Dad, do you feel like she's attacking her own son? She's hurting her own son by supporting these movies?
No, I don't think that's the intention. It may be a consequence, but it's not an intention.
So you're willing to like sacrifice your own son's happiness for these Hallmark movies?
Because of me watching Hallmark keeps you from love? Is that what you're trying to say?
From these low-budget movies that you keep watching, and they keep getting advertisers, and so now these advertisers are supporting crushing big city men's dreams.
Well, there's some movies that do take place in the city, and they don't leave their husbands. So there's hope for you, I think.
So what happens when they don't leave their husbands or boyfriends?
They
were just lonely beginning. They had like a dog, or they were Santa's child or something like that.
Well, I can let you watch some. There's a marathon tomorrow that you can watch.
I only need to watch one. I think I'll get it.
No. There's the plot board, and you could go all different directions.
Oh yeah, there's the plot board. So
yes, don't forget the plot board. It's out there.
Pick 5 variables in 5 different categories.
Right.
And then you just go from there.
But that pretty much handles all the Hallmark movies, that plot board.
But so Hallmark makes these movies against these big city men, but Die Hard is somehow not a Christmas movie.
Oh, I think it's definitely a Christmas movie. When you kill 20 people, I think that just makes the Christmas spirit come in strong.
Wow, we have a declaration here because she had never admitted. You finally admitted that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, a Christmas movie for those who like to slaughter.
This is a Schwegcast exclusive.
People. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we have. We set history here.
We've set history.
Yeah.
Well, when we think about Die Hard as a Christmas movie, and then I think I discussed a little bit last night because I've been thinking about this, about Rudolph. And, he was getting abused by all the other reindeer, and then Santa sees you when you're sleeping, knows when you're awake, allowed these reindeer to bully Rudolph for his formalities.
But he apologized.
I don't think that erases. If you break a plate and say you're sorry to the plate, is the plate fixed?
No, it's broke, but you can feel sorry for it, and you can try to do your best to get a new plate or make that plate glued back together and make it as good as possible. Once things happen, you never can take the once the stuff comes out of the box, you never put it back in, but you can do things to.
So if you were in Rudolph's shoes, would you not be petty and say, "No, that I'm not help you. I'm gonna go hang out with my abominable snowman friend"?
Then you're as bad as Santa. Then
yeah.
You'd be bad as the people that you bully. Now you're bullying Santa. So don't want to go that direction in life.
I think Rudolph should have said no and let Santa die.
Santa wouldn't have died. He just couldn't deliver the presents that year.
Yeah, and then all the kids would be sad. Like, why didn't I get presents from Santa? And then I'm like, well, maybe you need to ask Santa why, and be like, well, we were bullying this reindeer for so many years.
The other reindeers were wrong. Okay, so if Rudolph acted wrong, 2 wrongs do not make a right.
I agree with your dad.
I mean, yeah, I know, but I'm still thinking. If you're not in Rudolph's shoes, you're thinking about it from Santa's
No, I'm
point
in
of view.
Rudolph's shoes. I understand.
I wouldn't. If I was Rudolph, I'd be like, no, Santa. How about you go?
So you never forgive anybody if they wrong you?
Well, you can't just be like, you got to think about it this way. So someone wrongs you, is like, oh, now you're rich? Oh, now we're friends again.
Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right.
Well,
so that's what. Yeah, I think we just
two rights don't make a wrong either. So
two rights make a right.
So, well, I guess we'll just agree to disagree.
Okay,
you can have wrong opinions. That's okay.
Welcome to America.
So I guess we can just get into it. So we're having family over here this year, and so I thought it would be a good idea to just go ahead and record a podcast instead of just trying to get ready. Right? Isn't that the best? Isn't that the best idea? That's what I thought, and so we can get this episode and get really in the holiday spirit because we're full holiday spirit right now. Right?
Correct.
So, because I think Mom got us an ice scraper for my car, and I loved it. I was going to get one for myself, but Dad didn't like it. Right?
Well, I got to see if it works. That's what
okay.
Yeah.
Dad, you're skeptical.
The proof is in the pudding. So if it runs to that, I will text you right away and say, Sam, it works.
I was wrong.
I was wrong. Sam.
Rudolph, with your nose so bright,
right.
won't you guide my sleep?
That's right. Exactly. I'm going to do I was wrong, and I'm going to admit it.
Yeah. I don't have a problem being wrong. You used to have a problem with being wrong. Now you're fine with it. You would fight.
Okay, let's not go. Let's not go down memory lane where your memories are completely different than realities. Okay, all right.
We can just change the truth. It's not a lie if you believe it. George Costanza.
Yes, I've heard that.
And that you can say that on any resume. Oh, sorry. I had coffee and Mom wanted me to use a coaster.
There you go.
So, but your table's not ruined. I didn't ruin your table, did I? After all these years, I haven't ruined your tables. How does that make you feel?
Good.
You haven't had to redo these tables at all, have you?
Not yet.
Don't get the.
But
this is great radio.
You and
right
your
here.
brother moved out.
Yeah, true. We both moved out at 19. You know how many parents are would wish their kids would move out?
I think it's more like 18.
No, I turned 18 my beginning of high school, senior year.
Oh yes, sorry.
So yeah, we would both around 19.
Okay.
Matt may have been 18.
Matt was 18. You're right.
For like a month, and then he
Okay.
turned 19.
I'm sure your listeners are
No.
excited about that information.
Well, no, just parents, just remember there is hope. If you want your kids to move out, just kick them out.
I don't think we got kicked you out.
That makes it sound worse, though. Yeah, we voluntarily left.
Yes, you did.
Anyways, so we talked about that. So, and you wanted to talk about the Highland Honeys?
I don't know that your listeners would care.
Okay. Well, you're talking about, I was like, oh, can I bring up the Honeys? I'm like, you can. Mom's in a cult, so.
You
Yeah.
need a rebuttal. For
Yeah,
that.
there's like 12, 13 of us that all are from Highland, Kansas, and we're called the Highland Honeys, and most of us are teachers, and we get together once a month, and we've been friends for probably, it started in 1980-ish,
It started with
but
the-
I wasn't in it until like 1990, so I'm not an original member, but I'm very proud to be a member of this special group of girls.
They don't let anyone. Were you the last member they let in?
I'm the last one that was initiated. There's still a couple ones after me, but
Okay.
they're still pledges.
How long did you pledge in that group?
Well, I think I was a pledgee for like 15 years or something.
Jeez.
It's hard to get in. It's pretty elite.
So, do you have to pay dues for that group, or you just have to show up?
No.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. That's why I didn't do a fraternity in college. I'm like, I'm not going to pay. Because you two would not be like, we're not paying for that.
Exactly.
You're right.
I couldn't ask you. I had friends in the music fraternity, and they're like, you should rush. And I hung out with them a lot. I'm like, well, I don't really need to pay anything to hang out with you guys. I just show up to your parties or whatever. And then they're like, well, okay, I'll join. But I'm not going to be a pledge, and I'm not paying. And they're like, yeah, that's kind of two very important factors into joining our special club.
Yeah.
So,
What did Ringo Starr say? If you want to, you got to pay your dues if you want to sing the blues.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to wear this pin for every show I do. It wasn't just for school. Every show I do. Now it's I'm not gonna do that. It could mesh with the outfit or whatever. That's what's really important. Your clothing. But Mr. Rogers was in that same fraternity, so I mean, it couldn't have been that bad.
Okay, didn't know that.
So yeah, he was a weird. He has a lot of weird stories about him. He's a good guy, obviously, but he made sure he always weighed 143 pounds exactly. Like he would make sure he swam and like monitor his diet because he wanted because I love you, so I is 1 letter, love is 4 letters, and then U is 3 letters. So he'd make sure he always weighed 143 pounds.
Yeah, he was a vegetarian. Did you know that? In the movie, they said, well, why are you vegetarian? He said, well, I just can't eat anything that has a face.
True. I mean, I get that. I don't think I could kill my own food. Just like, sorry, cow. And then kill it.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
You're just full of anger.
No, not full of anger.
I could probably do that with deer. I do not like deer.
You got to do what you got to do sometimes.
I've considered myself an animal Darwinist, where, Darwinism is like some races of human beings are better than others. So it's really bad. It's like racism. But anyways, this is with animals, though. It's like, I think some animals are good, but there's other animals we can just kill. It's no problem. Like deer, let's just kill them.
Snakes?
Snakes, yeah. Dogs are good. Cats are good.
Okay.
Pigs are good, but we should still eat them. It's like, there's like some like, yeah, these are acceptable to eat. These are not acceptable to eat.
Yeah. Mice.
Yeah, all mice, bad.
Why do I feel this podcast is not going to be one of your top 10 podcasts?
Yours actually, the last two did pretty good.
Oh, really?
Surprisingly.
Okay. I'm surprised. Okay.
So
I'm surprised.
We're pretty popular around the world.
Yeah. Well, no, it was really funny because I got your Christmas card and it didn't mention the podcast at all. And your Christmas letter.
And we should have put it in there because...
Yeah, it's just like, and Sam's in Nashville, and make sure you check out his podcast, the Schwegcast.
Oh, well, we'll try to do that. Free advertisement.
That's what I want on your...
For advertisement, we get a kickback.
If I Google my name, your page on the Truman website comes up, and it says he has his son, Matt, a Truman alumni, and Sam.
Sam. You're not a Truman alumni.
You're not Truman alumni.
And I'm not going to... That was my rival school when I was...
You got to celebrate where you went to college.
Well,
it's not,
you don't have to put my college anymore.
You went to a rival school of mine, which I'm not going to mention that school's name, but I'm glad you went there.
Yeah, well, no, I think it'd be funny. Sam, host of the Schwegcast, like behind.
Maybe I can.
You could talk him into
see what
it,
I can do.
And then put a link to it.
They might cancel. They may cut that out, but I don't know. I'll try.
Website.
I'll see what I can do. How's that?
Yeah, we could do it. Yeah, just put the website link.
Okay.
You just got to advertise it whenever you can.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, my son Sam hosted the Schwegcast.
For some reason, I think they're going to delete that, but somebody who edits the website. But hey, I don't know.
They can mess up.
Yeah.
I still get emails from your school that Matt's an alumni. I don't know how they got my email.
I don't either.
But I'm thinking I'm just going to say.
They still want you to come there.
Yeah, I'm going to just say I am an alumni, and I would like them to make sure to note that. And that way, if I can put it on a resume and be like, hey, I graduated from Truman. What'd you major in? Let's do like business science or something like that. Is that a real degree?
No.
Business science?
No, it's not.
Okay. So.
Not at Truman.
No, I could do business and science, like physics or something like that. It's like hit them with the business and then hit them with the science.
You could just say accounting, masters of accounting, and exercise science and physiology. Yeah.
Oh yeah, communications. That's a major. I feel like you can just. It's like, oh, so what do you do there? Well, yeah. You can just
it's a wide open. That is a very actually. It's a major that people find jobs very successfully, and it's pretty much wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed how people.
Oh, so I could just say communications. That's
yeah.
Communication sciences. I feel like that might be.
Yeah, we're good.
You
took it to another level. Which
if you put science,
which doesn't exist, but yes, yeah.
I feel like because there's some majors that's like you put sciences behind it, but it's not like a science. So I feel like that makes it like a lot more professional. Like exercise science, that is actually science. That is actually other?
Yes, I've taught in that department, so you need to be careful about that. Yeah. Okay.
What else? I had. Yeah, no, I can't think of where I'm going. But yeah, you're still doing good. I saw you at track team came up. No, cross country team. That one. So everyone there was wearing their Truman cross country. I was wearing a Truman track and field shirts to the cross country meet.
That's okay.
And I don't know why in my head I'm like, is this wrong?
No, you're okay. That's okay.
It's close enough.
Yeah. It is.
So we're like Truman basketball or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I remember at that meet, there was this guy, he's a little bit obese. He was like kind of yelling like a coach would, but he wasn't a coach. And I don't know, in my mind, it's like, I don't think I want to listen to a fat cross-country coach.
Well, I think that's probably called a parent.
Yeah, I think he was... But he wasn't as passionate as like a little league parent, you know? Like those are the most passionate sports fans.
Can be.
It's like, oh, your teeth are knocked out? Oh, we just got to stay until the 5th inning. I know you're bleeding out of your mouth, but we got to win this Pee-wee T-ball game.
That sounds a little bit more like a high school or middle school parent. But
Yeah.
okay.
See, you didn't have to, since you went to college and did sports, you didn't have to live through me. Like all these other parents.
Maybe that's true. I don't know.
He's like, this is the big game against Marshall. Was that one of your school rivals, Mom? Or our school
Maybe
school I went to?
Kirksville.
Kirksville, maybe.
I don't know if Marshall's real. I just like make up school names.
There's a Marshall High School, yes.
Okay.
In Marshall, Missouri.
Okay.
My rival's South Shelby.
Okay.
Steve
so
Embry's my
Steve
rival.
Embry, yeah. But is the rivalry? How's that rivalry working out? Do you steal each other's like?
Eagles are kind of better than Cardinals. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to admit, if you just think about it, like real
So
life.
do they have like actual like Knox County actually has an eagle, like mascot, like a real eagle?
There's plenty in the county just hovering around.
Oh, just around. You don't have like a caged one.
No, that would be against the law, I think, because they're an endangered species.
No, they're no longer. They're
No longer.
But
Well,
you can't.
Because Knox County.
You can't have them as a
You
pet.
can't shoot an eagle because it's a national bird. You can shoot a turkey, but you can't shoot an eagle.
Yeah. I don't think eagles don't look like they taste that good.
I couldn't tell
It's
you.
pretty all muscle and no.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to eat that.
Okay.
I guess if you deep fried it, it could taste good, but
If you deep fry anything, it tastes good.
true,
Yeah.
that is very true.
Yeah.
Found a place that does deep fried Oreos. Like, that's not good to see.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It's good. It's not breaded like fried chicken. It's breaded more like a donut.
Yeah.
Or like a pancake, you know? So there's different ways you can bread food and deep fry it.
Okay.
So that's the difference. I think that's why most people like think it's so weird when they hear like deep fried Oreos, deep fried Snickers or whatever. It's because they think of it like fried chicken, but that's a totally different way of breading. This is more like a sugary breading.
Right.
Like donuts are deep fried.
Yeah.
But you know that. You take your kids to Casey's and
Used to.
watch them make donuts.
Yeah, when I lived in Highland.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to go?
I think so. I don't know if I was kind of short. I think it was tall, so I didn't really see anything.
I made you stay in the back with.
You probably, I was probably in trouble or for some reason.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I was like, Sam, you have to stand in the back because you're in trouble. I was like, what did I do? You're my son, so that's why you're in trouble. Anyways, but yeah, your class is okay this year. You told us last night. I don't think
Yeah,
you're
I've got a good class.
Mm-hmm. Oops, you got a text. Is it from Judy?
I have no idea.
Hello, Merry Christmas. We thought she was going to say hello, and that's how I thought she was going to say
I'm
it.
going to tell you, your listeners know who Judy is.
Yeah, it's Aunt Judy.
Okay. All right. Didn't
No,
know.
Aunt Judy.
All right. I didn't know
And
you.
then she said she answered the phone with Merry Christmas, and Mom's like, did it wrong. But anyways, so I think we have other topics we want to discuss today.
Have we talked about any topics today?
We talked about Hallmark movies.
And we did cover about Hallmark movies, yes.
I said it was like a loose conversation
What was our conclusions on Hallmark movies?
that they're not real movies.
Okay, thank you.
So
All right.
they're not. They're just that they're evil. They're against city people.
Well, 55 million women in this country
Are against
against
my lifestyle.
in your podcast now. So just let you know,
So
it's gonna be hard to expand your
yeah,
listening,
they know I'm right though. So
listening base.
it's kind of like, well, you may not like it, but I'm still right. So, but anyways, there's a couple stories you've told over the years, Dad, that I want to get on. First is the best man at your wedding worked with Sheryl Crow, and one time I ran into Sheryl Crow, and then you told me this story, and I wish I could have brought it up. So, tell the story of your best man and Sheryl Crow.
Okay, my best man was Tom. He when he got out of college in St. Louis area, there's a school district, Rockwood School District, and a lot of times they will hire you on people just out of college, will hire you on as a full-time substitute for a year. And then if you work out good that year, it's kind of like a temp type deal.
Yeah.
But I think they got benefits and everything, so it wasn't a bad gig. It just, you didn't know where you came to school, you didn't know, or if somebody's gone 3 or 4 days, you might be in that classroom or whatever.
Yeah.
So full-time subs. So Tom and Cheryl Crow were full-time subs together at this school in Eureka, Missouri. Eureka High School in Missouri, right next to Six Flags in St. Louis. Okay, so they were full-time subs, and then the year came up, and they were going to, they kind of both knew they were going to get a full-time position the next year. So so Cheryl said, supposedly to Tom, she goes, I don't know, Tom, I think I might go out to L.A. and try to make it in the music world. And so Tom basically sat down for her like next 3 or 4 days trying to talk her out of going out to LA and trying to make it in the music world. So that was the big thing. So his big thing now, he always talks about, you know how good I talk I am. I try to talk Cheryl Crow out of becoming, make it in the music world.
She was smart. I mean, like, regardless. So say that was a smart move on her part to go for it, because she could easily get back into teaching. I mean, probably not super easy, but easier to get back into teaching.
Well, it would have been harder to get. That was a really good position. Rockwood's one of the best school districts in Missouri.
Just more a very verified job.
Yeah, she wouldn't have got probably a job as good as that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she could probably get back in education right now.
She even still could right now, probably.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem for her right now.
Yeah, she
and
can,
stuff. So does she?
I mean, Matthew McConaughey is a teacher at I think it's Texas A&M or University of Texas.
He probably teaches one class every once in a while.
Like a film class.
A guest lecturer.
All right. Let's talk about films today.
There we go.
He's been weird on social media. Like Garth Brooks is weird on everything.
We're going to the Garth. We're going back to the Garth.
Well, I'm obsessed with him.
I've noticed, yeah.
Because it's just, he's your generation. And so, like, when going up in the music industry, he didn't have to do a lot of social media. So when you do interviews, you're not sitting down long format interviews like this. You're just kind of going on a talk show like Carson or Jimmy Fallon or
for a 2, 3, 4 minute.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then you're just very fun, and then you just leave. And now you have to like be on Instagram. It's like, well, I guess it's official. We're now on Facebook, and he's just like, let's get raw, stuff like that. Like you didn't have to do that. So I don't think he like knew who to hire for like a social media manager. But then he just acts weird. And then so we found out he's just a weird guy. Just, he's like me. But I'm more intentional about it. But he is.
Okay.
But you listen to the Garth Brooks, like, Sirius XM station, don't you?
I don't have it right now because I went to a cheaper package. But I did.
The Studio
It was
G.
good. It was, I mean, yeah, I remember his comments and stuff. It was okay. I mean,
yeah, this song really gets raw. I call it Friends in Low Places.
Raw or something. Or he's got a lot of even. I don't get the Springsteen station anymore either, but he'd also give a little comment about Springsteen, and he kind of go into his thing like
he did this. The Bohemian Rhapsody movie. For some reason, he's on like the behind the scenes features because I wanted his opinion on Freddie Mercury. For some reason, he's like, "Can anybody find me somebody to love?" And he kind of like made it about him. Made somebody to love like.
Just to go on record, I think you're great, Garth. I'm all for it.
I like you too, Garth.
Garth, I think you need to be open about the Chris Gaines album, the Chris Gaines stuff, because it's actually pretty good.
I think he's open about it.
No, they tried to remove it from the internet.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only way I have a CD, I had like you can't even download it on the internet. Someone,
but
mailed me a CD.
Yeah, on Sirius FM, they I remember them playing. I don't think I'm wrong. They played some Chris Gaines stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it got taken off now. I don't know, but I could have sworn it was. I'm pretty sure, but I can't testify in court. Somebody could probably tear me apart.
Yeah, I need to look into that.
I don't know. I thought there was some Chris Gaines stuff on Sirius FM, but maybe I'm wrong. Just have to check it out, I guess.
Yeah, I think I have your login on my phone for your Sirius XM. I don't use it that much, but I think it's on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
I think you gave me the password for some reason to log into something.
I didn't. No, I don't think so. So anyway.
I'm not giving out the password.
Well,
What?
So anyway. So what we're talking about again? This is not going to be one of your top 10 shows. The way it's
We were talking about Sheryl Crow.
Oh, Sheryl Crow. Yeah. So Sheryl went to L.A. and she, boom. And so Tom's always got this story. I try to talk Sheryl Crow out of.
Was she in
go to
Nashville?
LA.
I thought she was in Nashville.
Well, I think she went to L.A. I thought
Okay.
I thought originally. I may be wrong with the story, but I thought she went to L.A.
Okay, because I ran into her
Originally.
in Nashville.
Yeah. Well,
So
where do you hang out? Or if you're a
I was
musician, you hang
at
out.
Target. Well, no, you just go
Where do most of the musicians hang out? They either hang out in LA,
where I get my hair cut. and-
LA or yeah, Thomas Rhett.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think if I told anyone, I ran into Thomas Rhett. We were getting a haircut at the same place. Didn't talk to him because I don't know any of his songs. I'm not going to back myself into that situation.
But looked like him when you took the picture. So
Yeah. Look. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, yeah. I had a friend who was like, it's like pics or it didn't happen. I'm like, all right.
So you're gonna tell Thomas Rhett that
Yeah.
there's a picture floating around him.
Well, I didn't post it online though.
Okay, you didn't post. No.
That's
How do you know I didn't post it? I didn't post it.
I don't think I saw it.
I don't do that. No,
You don't really post on social media.
I do not very much. That's true.
Yeah, it's like if you take a picture of someone, you don't post on the internet without kind of their consent. Unless it's like my friend Micah, and I just do it anyways.
So your hope that you'll get to meet Sheryl Crow someday to verify the story.
I've already met her.
I mean,
Technically.
hope to meet her again when
Yeah,
you
it's like,
can verify
hey,
the
it's like,
story.
you know Tom, last name redacted.
Kickham.
Kickham. Okay, I didn't know if we could say it.
Well,
Don't want to dox him.
We
or
just
anything.
did, but
So,
anyway.
yeah, I was like, "Do you remember him?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, who's the best man at my dad's wedding?" I heard a good story about you. We can get everyone's side. I can get Tom on here sometime. He can just verify, or maybe just get him like, "Hey, just tell me the story from your perspective."
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
So, I'd love to hear that. Yeah, do you think she'd remember him?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a.
I mean, I think she probably would, but I don't
would say, I think if I said, like, Rockwood, you worked with him at Rockwood, and you were both substitute teachers, she'd probably ring a bell or something
Rockwood
like that.
School District, yeah. I think it was Eureka High School. I think it was.
Okay, yeah, I think I think that would probably ring a bell.
Yeah,
for
it
her.
probably would.
Is he still at that school?
No, he left there to go to a private boys Catholic school,
Okay,
which
that-
is like one of the
You're gonna
places in St. Louis. So
Get more
he
money.
teaches there. Actually, he actually took a pay cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to go there, but it's
a better school, yeah.
These are low lit, and then not as much problems. Private schools.
Oh, yeah, because you don't have to. Because if you get in trouble, they just kick you out.
That's right. They can't do that in public schools.
Yeah.
They have to work with you.
That's a weird thing when you go to the difference between like a city and then like here. It's like here, it's like, well, you can go to the Catholic school until you're in 8th grade, and then you're in public school. And so when if you're in the city, everyone's like, "You went to public school?" I'm like, "Yeah, everyone did."
Yeah.
And then you're in the city, you're like, "You went to public school?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty rough." I'm like, "Oh." So
Yeah. Well, people I get that. Like you went to the high school I went to.
Mm-hmm.
They go, "You went there?" I go, "Yes." It was different back then than it is now, but yeah, they have accreditation problems now.
oh yeah, and you went to high school with Pam.
Pam Hop. That's true. Thank you for bringing that up.
Mom's like,
Yes.
So
on Dateline.
this is
You
a
wanna
good
talk
story.
About that? Okay.
So
yes.
Dad was in town. Truman had a cross country meet against Trevecca and Lipscomb and other purple schools. Because there were like 5 purple schools
I
there.
don't think there was 5, but there was
a lot of
There was
purples.
at least 3. But go ahead.
And so we're sitting in their hotel room because I was already in Brentwood for something, and that's where they were. And so we're sitting there. Dad flips to Dateline on his TV, and then they just start playing the episode, Dateline, like the quality. And then it's like, this is Pam, and then and they show like she murdered these people, blah blah blah.
Allegedly, let's not get ourselves in trouble. But go ahead.
So and then Dad's like, oh, that's Pam, and then me and Mom, I think we were like looking at our phones, and we're like, what? He's like, yeah, I went to high school with her. So the story behind it is, so she convinced a woman, and this is from my memory, so you know how accurate I am. Don't cite this on your bibliographies or anything. So what happened is she convinced a friend of hers, I guess, to put her name on her life insurance policy.
Correct. Supposedly, yes. From the Dateline, we're just going, but from the Dateline, we don't. Yeah. Go
And
ahead.
so she convinced her to do that, and then supposedly, I think she was convicted. Or is she still waiting trial?
I've lost. I thought she got off, but then they were going to put her back on trial or something like that. I don't know.
Anyways, the clues make it look like she did it.
At least the Dateline reporting.
The Dateline reporting,
Yeah.
the evidence they showed,
Yeah.
shows that she did it and then tried to frame her husband for the murder by like dipping his slippers in one of her blood and like throwing it in the closet. So that's what happened. And so, but her husband had like a very solid alibi. He was at his friend's house playing games and watching a movie, and then he came home and saw that she was murdered.
Not Pam's husband, but the victim's husband.
The victim's husband. I can't remember his name. And so, and he got like a really good lawyer too.
Well, he spent some time in prison for it.
Yeah, but he got convicted somehow.
Then he got out.
Then they let him out because I think they found evidence it wasn't him. They kind of reopened it, I think.
Yeah, and then
now I think Pam is on trial.
Then there's been some other activities she allegedly did. So yeah, she was a year behind me in high school. Mm-hmm. I knew of her. I didn't. Talked to her maybe a couple times.
She didn't murder you. So.
No, she didn't. She was a teenage girl. I thought she was a little wacky, but all teenage girls are a little wacky, so I didn't think anything twice of it. But yeah, that was kind of a shock. And how I found out about it, it was well before the Dayline thing. Is that we have a high school reunion site.
Yeah.
I've never went to one of the high school reunions, but one of my high school reunions. But there's a high school reunion site that I'm on. Keep contact with some people. And she came up in one of the
threads.
One of the threads. So that's how I found out way before. But and people were like, "Well, she was wacky in high school," and I didn't think she was that wacky. But obviously, whatever, So I'm not saying she's guilty or anything because I haven't kept up, or anything like that.
Kept up with her.
I'm just going by the Dateline thing that's on. Yeah.
But what was? Yeah, but I see like all these big podcasts coming out, like the storylines that are like. Go through each individual, and people are texting me, so that's why you're hearing beeps, I think. But yeah, well, no. So I saw someone online posted that their dad used to work with Ted Bundy somewhere, and then his dad would say every Friday, he'd be like, "See you Monday, Bundy," and he had I bet Ted Bundy wanted to kill him.
Yeah, the movie. If you see the Ted Bundy movie, he was the guy that killed the women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Zac Efron?
No.
I saw that one. That one.
Oh, okay.
That one was pretty good.
They did one. Who's the guy on NCIS? Mark Harmon.
Okay.
He did that. That was one kind of his breakout in the acting world.
Yeah.
And he got the did some other things and got the NCIS thing. But yeah, Mark.
But they did a recent movie. It's on Netflix.
Oh, really? Okay.
But Zac Efron plays Ted Bundy. It was based off a book. So he had a long-term girlfriend for a while. And I think it was based off like a book she wrote. Like she used to be serious with them, and then that escalated, and then eventually got convicted. But she is like the initial person who reported after she saw the sketch of him, because I think they were in an abusive relationship.
Okay.
No shocker there. They didn't portray that in the movie. The weird thing about the movie though is they made Ted seem like a good guy, and they really didn't actually show him as like a murderer until like the very end of the movie. So like that was a weird thing with the movie. Matt's Matt's playing. Matt, what are you playing in there? It looks like he.
My Xbox gamepad.
Xbox game plan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, is Ted Bundy your favorite serial killer, Mom?
I didn't really have a favorite.
Yeah, you're not. Most housewives are really into like those like murder mysteries.
I'm into Hallmark movies, so.
Picked a good one, Dad. But I really think Ted Bundy's unibrow was worse than the murders.
I can't remember.
He had a really bad unibrow. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Well, that's okay. Somehow I don't want to see it. I'll be honest with you.
Just like he had a unibrow. A unibrow is just optional in my mind.
I'm going to trust you on that.
Like you have like certain things about your body you can't control, like how you look and stuff like that. You can take off that hair.
Yes, that's true.
Like someone famous once said, "Separate but equal is terrible for schools, but terrific for eyebrows."
Okay.
Complete polar opposites. Is that, Mom, do you agree with that?
I guess.
Do you get your eyebrows done, Mom? That's a weird question.
No, I don't.
Okay, I always never thought you did. I know Dad doesn't.
That's pretty obvious.
You gotta tweeze the in between though.
Yeah, I don't have much problem with the unibrow.
Yeah. I get like a little bit of hair. It's not like connecting to a unibrow, but I just tweeze it off and it's gone. So it's nothing wrong with being able to grow a unibrow. It's keeping the life choice to maintain and live a life with a unibrow, I think, is the problem.
These are deep philosophical thoughts I've never had, really. So, yeah.
But you agree, though, right?
I need time to reflect and...
Yeah. I haven't contemplated the unibrow that much.
Yes. I'll have to get back to you on that.
I don't know. It's just a weird choice to me to have a unibrow.
Once again, we're not going to...
If you had...
Yes.
So say if you were able to grow a unibrow, would you just tweeze it off, or would you keep it?
I would do something to get rid of it.
Yeah. See, it's just an easy fix, and I don't understand why people have it.
No, you got a point there.
Mm-hmm. It's like, if someone's like missing a tooth or something like that, like teeth that can be expensive. Mm-hmm. Like, so that could be like a reason. But like, I would donate tweezers. Like, I'd spend $1,000 to donate tweezers to people, just so unibrows don't exist.
Wow, you feel strongly to donate $1,000.
I think you could use that $1,000.
And I was like, there's student lunch debt.
Pay off your car or something.
Yeah, student lunch debt's a thing. I pay off my car, but I think unibrows are the real big problem.
I can see why you're doing great financially.
I know. I'm a great
philanthropist.
Yeah. David Ramsey, what's his name?
Dave Ramsey.
Hey, Dave Ramsey. He's gonna come up to ask me for advice.
Isn't he out of Tennessee?
Yeah, he is.
Nashville?
I applied for like a podcast editing position. Yeah. I got turned down for that pretty quickly.
All right.
Unless they sent an email back though. So
at least they, maybe
you're very professional, Dave. Your company is very professional.
Okay.
So, anyways, so we're in here. So I think we talked about two of the big topics with two side topics.
Okay, this is
great radio, right?
This is I'm telling you, this
probably the worst episode. I think this is the worst episode we've done.
We could be in the bottom 10. We were in the top 10 at one time.
Yeah,
we're going to be in the bottom 10 this time.
Last year's did pretty well though.
Really? Okay, I don't think this is going to reach that level. Go ahead. Maybe we can raise the standard. Most people have probably turned off by now.
Yeah,
turned it off. But go ahead.
So I've told this story multiple times. And it's titled "How I Know My Dad Would Never Cheat on My Mom."
Okay,
because
you talked about this on the podcast.
I think I've talked about it like a little bit, but you've told it to me, and I've told other people, so I may have gotten some things wrong. So to start it off, one time, the story of how I know my dad would never cheat on my mom starts with my dad went to Hooters once because it was the only restaurant open. Now I'm going to let you finish.
I was in Jacksonville, Florida for a convention.
That is like the perfect place to go to Hooters.
There you go. So the convention center's down off the river, and it was late, and it was the only place open. And I'm with a group of people, and they said, "Hey, let's just go here. It's open." And I go, "I don't know if I should do this. So anyway, went in there. Mm-hmm. The food wasn't very good. Mm-hmm. The service wasn't very good. I was very disappointed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't very good.
You look good, but you're a terrible waitress. No comment on your end. That's my comment. I'm not sure they looked that good either. The standards weren't there. Okay, I'll just put it that way. It wasn't like a high class Hooters.
I don't know. That's my first Hooters. My first and only Hooters, so I cannot tell you for sure what Hooters is really like. Mm-hmm. All right, so in there, so I come out of the restaurant, and so I call your mom on my cell phone. I said, I need to tell you something. And there must be something in my voice when I talk to your mom. She can tell. She goes, okay, what did you do? That's what she said. And it used to be anyway, so... with that, and I told her, I went to Hooters, and she goes, okay, and I don't know what she thought of me, but I was several hundred miles away, so
smart.
I guess I was safe for a while, and everything. But I do have a problem if I try to lie to your mom, she kind of picks it up pretty quick, mm-hmm. Stuff like that. So she kind of knows me. So even if I tried to cheat on her, I'd be caught within mm-hmm. a matter of minutes. Let's just put it that way. Mm-hmm. Okay, so kind of give you an idea. So mm-hmm. yes, I wouldn't never cheat on your mom, but yeah. Mm-hmm. But I would get caught right away anyway. So all these people try to hide it. There's no way I would be able to do it.
So, Mom, what are your thoughts these many years later? Is it just kind of like whatever?
Well,
I mean, I feel like I trust your dad.
I mean, you did that was the right thing to do in my mind. They're just like, just tell her immediately what happened, the situation. But I've never had like interest in going to Hooters. I actually saw on like Uber Eats, I think it was. They're like there's a Hooters like doing like a delivery like limited sale or something like that. I got a burger from there and like had it delivered from home because I didn't want to leave. It was okay. So I mean, I kind of been to Hooters, but I've never gone inside. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound that I'm not that interested.
It wasn't.
I had a friend. You like this. I want your advice. You've been married forever now at this point.
35 years.
35 years. Yeah, basically forever. So I had a friend. I'll leave her anonymous. She was setting up a date with a guy, and I guess they were going to watch some sports ball game or whatever they're called. And so, like, they were probably going to go someplace like Buffalo Wild Wings. That's
sure.
An initial place like that. That would be a good place to go
Mm-hmm.
to. His first suggestion was Hooters.
Okay.
And I suggested to her, yeah, you should. That's a red flag.
I would think so. If I had a daughter.
So that was.
If I had a daughter, and I don't have a daughter. If my daughter would say, "Hey, such and such asked me on a date, and he wants to take me to Hooters," I would say, dump him like
Yeah, that's not.
Drop him like a hot potato.
I mean, if you're like dating and then she's like, we can go to Hooters. I kind of want some hot wings or something like that. Like that makes sense. But
yeah, if she brings it up, that'd be
I'm
one
like,
thing. But
fine, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
We had friends that their little boys wanted to go to Hooters because they thought it was an owl place.
yeah, because they used to have that mascot.
yeah, I think they still do that.
Do they still have the owl
O's
mascot? Yeah, with the yeah. They thought it'd be cool. Yeah.
I remember like kids in high school, like their dads would take them to Hooters, and like it was so cool for them. I'm like,
I think it was more for the dads.
oh, well, the kids thought it was cool too. They would take pictures with the girls too.
Right, but it's still. I think that was more for the. To be honest with you,
Probably.
more for the dads than it was for the kids.
Well, I mean, the dads had to take them.
Yes, they
It's not
did.
like you're like, this is really for my kids to go.
Yeah, it's really for my kids. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I would never take a date there.
I think that would be a good move on your
a good
part.
move.
I think that would be a good move.
You kind of got to go to like. And I think he also suggested Twin Peaks, which is kind of a Hooters-like restaurant in Nashville. I don't know if it's a local.
There used to be a show called Twin Peaks.
It's not the TV show.
It's not based off of that or anything. Okay, I don't know.
So I think it's a Hooters-like
Yeah.
restaurant. But I don't know if it's like a huge chain or. I think there's like 2 in the Nashville area.
Yeah.
But anyways, but yeah, that's not. Let's just go to a date to a strip club. They got a really nice all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I like the music they play there. But so, Mom, what would you do if a guy asked you out and he said, "Let's go to Hooters"? First date. You don't know this guy.
Well, if I was really hungry, I might go for the food, but I doubt it.
Really? You would?
I don't think I'd go out with him.
Would you go to a strip club that had a really good all-you-can-eat buffet?
No.
But
What if
anyways,
it's a male strip club?
No.
Okay.
where did you take Mom on her first date?
Yeah, why don't you explain
I don't
that?
think we ever went on a date, no.
We never went on
We
a
don't
date.
go on.
We went to a wrestling meet.
Well, you want to hear this story?
Yeah, I want to hear this. story.
Okay, all right. Hopefully, yeah. This will, again, boost your ratings.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She had a friend that was an assistant wrestling coach on this college.
In Kansas City, yeah.
In Kansas City. I guess he came in the summers to Truman to get an administration degree or something, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to see this guy, and I don't think she could find anybody who wanted to go with her. And since I've been asking her out and she's been turning me down, she goes, well, we can go to this. Why don't you go with me? We'll go to this wrestling meet. She goes, I go, well, I used to wrestle a little bit a long time ago. So she thought, okay, so you know something about it. So we went to this wrestling meet to watch this guy's team who's wrestling against Truman that she knew from summer school, okay? All right, so that was our first date. So then, I guess that was the first date. You call that a date? Because I really don't call that a date, but she calls it a date. Okay, so I guess it's close to
Or
we
we
had
did
the
a
first
group.
date.
Is that before the group date?
I think we did a group date after that. Okay.
But he called and my roommates told him I was never there. 'Cause she didn't want him to talk to me.
Oh yeah, I'd call. Can I talk to Nancy? Because she's not here, and she'd just hang up on me. Yeah.
How does that work out years later?
And there was another one like that, and then they were in the wedding party. Yeah, her wedding, bridesmaids or whatever you call them. Yeah.
That's a good question for Tom to ask him. What'd you think about the wedding party?
Yeah, well, we won't go there. That's another show which we'll never have with that. So I guess that would be the first date. But it's kind of weird when somebody says, "Yeah, let's go out." We'll go
Hooters?
out. We'll go out. No, we'll go out to this wrestling meet. And she complained about. She doesn't like wrestling the whole time. But then she leaves me to go down and talk to this guy, and then she comes back, and I walk her back to her dorm room. Yeah, so that's exciting. That was exciting. Yeah, again, this has elevated this podcast to all-time bottom 10. But yes,
I mean, you didn't take her to Hooters.
I didn't know.
There's no Hooters in Kirksville.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't have took her to Hooters anyway, so that would have been a safe bet.
So you got lucky there.
Yeah.
It's like friends don't let friends take their first dates to Hooters.
Well, I wouldn't think so. So, yeah.
But what was it? I was gonna say, yeah. So
you should put a survey question up. How many of you
take your first dates to Hooters?
Guys? Yeah. See what kind of
women. Have you ever gone to a first date to Hooters?
Yes, that could be. It could be a male question, a female question. That would be. Yeah, that could kind of hit. That might make Nashville front page or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a desire to ever go to Hooters.
Okay.
Just doesn't seem. Not as a date or even my friends. I'm like, you want to go to Hooters? I'm like, no.
So you've asked your friends to go to Hooters?
No,
he's not asked.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. But I think if I did ask my friends, they would say no.
Oh, got it. You have classy friends.
Yeah. My friends are too classy. Yeah, for me. Anyway, so Christmas Day. I think we still have a little bit more time. We got to run through. So I remember we were talking about the Christmas Carol. We're gonna watch. I want to watch Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Because FX just did a new one, and it was really dragged out.
It's not really draggy if you watch the whole thing. It's just
it's disturbing.
It's dark.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way to put it. It's a dark, and it's very modern day
horror. I mean, not necessarily horror.
Not quite to that level, but maybe. But like, Ebenezer Scrooge was molested.
Okay.
And I don't want to give away anything for anybody, but that he was. I mean, it kind of shows it a different way. I think it's well done, but
I don't. There's a lot of good with it. I just think there's a pacing issue with the movie. Which this is more you're getting into.
It's 2 hours.
Film details.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes long.
I feel like they probably didn't need to make it
with very short. This is FX.
Yeah.
And very short commercials. I was like surprised.
Yeah.
I thought usually commercials are like 3 minutes. I mean, when you have a break, it's 3 to 4 minutes long. This one was maybe 90 seconds.
Okay.
2 short commercials and boom, you're right back at it. But I think it's it's something. It's a different.
I like the concept of it. I just think there's some scripting choices. Like he goes on these long monologues. It's like, dude, can you be quiet and like.
Well, but you get that's character development. I think they're getting into it, and you kind of really know how he feels and stuff. And so it's kind of different. Where I just watched this morning, one was back in the late 30s.
Oh, it's like. The one I think is funny. They had the weird language. What day is it today, young Tim?
Something like that.
Today is Christmas Day.
Yes. Actually, that's in there. That one, it just kind of shows a little different. It's more of a modern day version. People can maybe relate better to it than it just in that version I like, and that's my favorite version probably. Just that Scrooge is just a money problem. How did he get that way? It didn't really kind of character develop there. Here it shows
really, it's more of a Scrooge story there, where the others is the lesson of you have to supernaturally haunt the rich into sharing.
Well, maybe. I guess that's one storyline you could say. Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting, but they say they've actually like some good film critics have like reviewed every Christmas Story adaptation that's ever taken place, and they. Actually, a lot of them say their best one is the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, you said Christmas Story, which there's only one.
Oh, yeah, that's.
I don't know. Have you ever done a remake of the Christmas Story? I don't think.
No,
I don't know.
It's just, it seems like there's some movies I just feel like they remade. A lot of people be again. Like It's a Wonderful Life. We watched that yesterday. Like, I don't think that needs to be remade. I still one year want to watch it in color. I know you're against that, but just, I mean, I've seen it so many times in black and white.
I don't know if it's ever been colorized. That's a good
I think it
question.
has.
Has it? Okay. It's different. I mean, we watched yesterday. Was it Yesterday Miracle on 42nd Street? Is it 42nd Street?
34th.
34th Street, 42nd. That's Billy Joel, I think, album, 42nd Street. Okay. All right. Okay, I get my streets along New York. But, it's 42nd Street. That's a Billy Joel album. Okay, 34th Street. You know, colorized, I don't like it as much, but because it's hard to, I
think Jimmy Stewart, he was really against colorization of movies. There is a good thing where, like, when it's in black and white, there's a lot of character to it. It really sets the time period it was made in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've just seen that movie so many times. I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah. Was the movie like Hitchcock did Psycho? Was that black and white?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was intentionally made in black and white because they had color back then.
Yeah. The film class I took in college, Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That
was
movie intentionally
like that. Yeah. So I mean, there's a cinematic effect, right? They're trying to get. Yeah.
So, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
So I like Elf a lot. Muppet Christmas Carol. I mean, that's obviously good. The Grinch, Jim Carrey. That's a classic.
I think he just ruined it. That's just.
There's a lot of good jokes in there.
I mean, if you think of some of these movies, there's like the Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. Those three movies.
Yeah.
We binged and watched all three of them right away. You know, and we taped, recorded all of them. And
they're on Disney Plus too. So.
We went through all the commercials real quick, so it wasn't very short. You know, really, it's not that long a time to watch. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe 4 hours, 4.5 at the most.
I like that one's like the first one I really like. Second one's pretty good. I'm not that into the third one.
The third one I thought was a good take. I thought
I like the idea of it.
Jack Frost is good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Martin Short
did a great job on that. So, but there's some good one-liners in all those movies, and that's what you kind of
invented. Chill,
even though you've watched, yeah, exactly. You know, that's the nice thing about those movies. You watch them again, so you get the one-liners. Mm-hmm. Just Die Hard's got some great one-liners.
Yeah, that's a good Christmas.
There's a colleague that I work with, and we're always doing always doing movie one-liners, like from A Few Good Men. Mm-hmm. We do Die Hard, Hunt for Red October. There's, that's why why do you watch a movie more than once? Some people watch a movie once and never watch them again, and they go, I've seen it once, I don't need to. You go back because there's something that's always pulling you back. And for me, it's always those one-liners in movies, And
I've been obsessed with the end fight in Avengers Endgame.
Oh yeah.
We may need to watch that. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Just the final fight. I'll go because I think.
You think he's doing a simulation, right? Game.
What?
Because he thinks he's in it like they think he's Ender's really thinking he's doing it's a simulation battle, and it's actually the real battle. Is that right? No? Did I get the ending wrong? I got the ending wrong then. Okay.
I mean, no. So there's kind of. So Doctor Strange looked into like 14 million futures to see like the outcome of the battle, which means like he actually he legitimately lived through it, like 14,000 realities. So in reality, Doctor Strange is like super old mentally, but not physically. But yeah, that was like the one they won.
Okay.
So there's kind of a simulation there, but he had to make sure everything fell into place correctly. Where Ant-Man went to the quantum realm, and then the 5-year time gap happened, and then Tony had to take the stones from Thanos just in time.
Okay, I get confused here. So are we talking about Ender's Game or
Avengers Endgame? Yeah.
Oh, Avengers Endgame. I thought you talked Ender's.
Oh, Ender's Game. No, that's a different movie.
That's what I was thinking. Game. Okay, we got totally wrong. Okay.
That had Asa Butterfield, who almost played Spider-Man.
Okay.
But thankfully he didn't. But yeah, no, Thanos, he had to...
Yes. Yeah.
And Tony had to sacrifice, and that's why Doctor Strange's like, I'll let you die. I'll let you die for this. And then he's like, you have to live, so you can die at the right moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So, did you like that movie?
It was fun.
Yeah, I remember you had a hard time keeping track of everyone. I'm like, well, there are 60 plus different characters to keep.
I know.
And so I was like, I'm not going to hold you to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Disney Plus are making like TV shows off Scarlet Witch, and then the new guy who got the new Captain America shield.
Yeah.
They're doing a TV show with him, and so it's gonna be. That's why I got Disney Plus, and that's why I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
For it. So, and that's why you guys get it too, since you use my account. This is the first situation ever where a parent has mooched their child's streaming service account, because usually in a situation you two would have an account and then me and Matt would take it.
Have you ever been compensated in some different ways?
Yeah, of course. I'm not upset about it. I just think it's a funny situation.
So that I'm using your account. I
don't mind it.
I know another person that they're using their child's account.
Okay, so
I'm not the only one.
There is another.
There's one other. Just like in Star Wars, he was the last one. No, there's another. So there is another.
So, I mean, I don't mind it. Like, that's fine with me. You guys can use as much as you want. You don't really use it that much.
So you're going to explain Baby Yoda to me?
Explain? I mean...
We don't know.
Well, yeah, I think even, like, George Lucas initially made Yoda species, like, unknown.
Yeah.
For a reason. And so that's what's so interesting with The Mandalorian. They're like exploring like what is Yoda's species or anything with that. If you haven't seen The Mandalorian, but it's great because I'm like, well, that's a Mandalorian bounty hunter. I'm like, this is cool. I'll like watch the first episode, see what's like. And then they get to Baby Yoda. I'm like, all right, I'm hooked.
Yeah, we got you. They're gonna drag it out for you.
That was a good move on Disney because they want to make toy sales. Like Star Wars toy sales are
Oh, I forgot about that.
You always forget about toy sales.
So were there baby?
Yeah, they're making
Yodas?
Baby Yoda toys and stuff.
Matt, you didn't have any Baby Yodas in pennies, did you? Okay, no, there was no baby. I just wondered. I would get. There got to be Baby Yodas out there. Well, they had bags. You had a bag, right? Yeah. There was a bag. The bag was
They're just starting. I mean, they just launched Disney Plus in November. So
okay, all right. So
like they're still rolling, and they wanted to keep that. That wasn't known until
that episode.
Till that episode, it was a good like surprise because no one saw that coming.
Okay.
Except it just makes me upset that in the sequel trilogy, it doesn't show up once. I'll spoil this. If you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker, Baby Yoda does not show up.
Okay, I didn't think you would. I wasn't planning on that.
Yeah, so it's
I would be disappointed if it did.
Yeah, it's kind of. Well, I was disappointed he did. Yeah, I was disappointed he didn't show up.
You wanted him to be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he'd be like a toddler at this point because he's 50. That's I think it's 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. That's when they blew up the Death Star the first time.
Right.
That's like 8 BC AD in the Star Wars universe. For some reason, that's like a turning point.
I thought it was like 5 years. Is it meant Mandalorian's 8 years? 5 years?
So Return of the Jedi is 5 years after the Battle of Yavin. And then 4 years after Return of the Jedi, that's when the Mandalorian takes place.
Okay, that's when it takes over.
It's where the Empire is. The Empire doesn't really have any control anymore, so stormtroopers are like looking for work, so they're just working for any rich Empire loyalist.
They can get.
Mm-hmm, so.
Okay.
And that's when there's that one episode where they had all the heads on like sticks. Mm-hmm. So that's that. So yeah, check out The Mandalorian if you haven't. We're giving free.
We've given stuff away already, so.
I mean,
you got some insight, Lo.
Every episode, I mean, there's an overarching story, but like each episode's so like
individual.
Individual, like it works together.
It works, it does.
So it's a great show. It's the same director who did Iron Man, the first 2 Iron Man movies.
Oh, really?
He did the new Lion King and the new Jungle Book, the live action remakes.
But Ron Howard's
daughter, he directed an episode.
She directed, yeah.
I saw Bryce Dallas Howard at the end of one.
Yeah, did you see that one?
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting.
I mean, her dad.
She did a good job.
I mean, her dad's a terrific director.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So if she needed like any advice, she has an easy phone call to make.
That's true.
So, anyways, well, thank you for coming on again. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And anything you want to say? Oh, we have to air our grievances.
Okay, what's your grievance this
You
year?
have to. No, you have any grievances about me?
Grievance about this podcast, probably, because it's going to be in the bottom 10. your listeners.
Mom, you have any complaints? You always complain about something about me.
Well, I don't want to say it out loud. So
it's okay. This is the time to do it. This is the one time a year to do it.
Here's the deal. The thing is, most of your listeners will not hear me say this because they've already switched it off by this time, I would think. So, yeah. So
I was assuming they try to switch it off either when we get to the advertisements and then after they fast forward through it.
Make sure you get the advertisements in.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Just got to get the ads in, and they just got to buy the products.
Okay.
That's why you just tell your track team, like, hey, you don't have to listen to the show, but, like, sign up using the links in the description of this episode.
There we go.
Yeah, bus trips all the time. You can have them listen to it there.
I'll get back to you on that.
Right. All right. Only 58 more episodes to go.
Okay.
All right. So, Mom, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus.
Okay.
Happy Honda Days. Still Toyota-thon.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Merry Christmas. Kwanzaa's coming up.
The Toyota-thon's not going to last for long. You better leave the house now.
Happy New Year.
Is that January or is that?
I don't know when Toyota-thon ends,
I
to
think
be honest.
I thought it was
I was just
January.
here. It's about to end soon, and it just puts me in a panic.
Okay.
So,
Well, you just rented a Toyota car, so
yeah, Toyota Corolla.
so there you go.
Not a very good car. But anyways,
All right.
everyone have a good Christmas, and I hope this helped you out. Stay awesome.
Yeah, I had a friend when I was in grade school, high school, junior high, and there was a story that came out of this with him one time when we were in high school, a little bit after high school, I think, or no, it was in high school. Excuse me, I'm sorry, and he just walked up to us one day and said, "Hey, I got tickets to the Doobie Brothers, and we're going to go on Friday night." I think it was Friday night, and at that time, he's kind of a cut up guy, and sometimes he always didn't kind of exaggerated stuff. So we go like, yeah, right. Yeah, sure enough. He goes, well, Dad's let me have the car. So I'm going to, I'll pick you all up at, such and such time and stuff, and go, oh yeah. Okay. All right. So we didn't know what was going on. So, we got all, we got ready to go on Friday, and we thought we were going to go. I thought he was playing a prank on us and everything. So did the other two guys besides me. And all of a sudden, we're going downtown in St. Louis, and we end up in the, I think it was the arena. At the time, they called it the arena. And so we go there, and we walk in the place, and we got these tickets, and he's got the tickets, and he hands the tickets to a guy, and they go, oh, yeah. So they walked us down, and we're sitting like 6 rows back from the stage, and it was just kind of I'm like, wow, I've never been at a concert that close before ever and everything. So we're thinking like, oh, what's going to happen here? Something's going to go on, We're not really sure what's going to go on here. We're afraid of, someone's going to come and throw us out. And all of a sudden, a security guy walks up to us, and I go, oh, here we go. We're going, oh, here we go. We're going to get kicked out. We're going to get kicked out. And he said, and he mentioned the guy's name. He goes, yeah, my friend goes, yeah, that's me. He goes, well, after the concert, you're supposed to stay right here, and I'm going to escort you to the backstage. And we all the 3 of us guys were just freaking out on this. Like, we go, we're like, is this real for real? Really for real? So, we went to the concert started. We went to the concert, and we sat there, and all of a sudden the security guard came back, and he says, okay, yeah, follow me. And we went to the back, and this guy was really, that I knew was really Michael McDonald's cousin. And it was kind of amazing because we walked in there, and he calls out the guy's name, and he goes, hey, Mike, how you doing? They call him Mike, and he goes, hey, I haven't seen you since Aunt Bertha or something's Thanksgiving that one time. So they're having this conversation, and the 3 of us are just sitting there, just stunned, everything. And we, saw the rest of the band, and I won't go into what state they were in at the time, but, and that was my introduction to Michael McDonald, and he, he's a pretty cool guy at that time when I met him. So that's pretty much the story, and that's it.